Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. I hope you all had yourself a really good weekend. And I got one question for you here on this beautiful Sunday evening. Are you
Uh,
tired of winning yet?
no,
I'm not.
no, never,
Yeah, yeah. I give it
never
another
could, never
week.
would.
Yeah,
We'll see. Yeah,
we'll see.
we'll see. We'll see.
But oh, Trumpy boy. Oh my goodness. As you
The
see in the
man
tagline,
himself.
the man himself, we have put the mafia in the White House, and it's glorious. It
Yeah,
is
it's
so
nice to
glorious
see.
because he is indeed acting extremely thuggish, and in every way that an American would want. Yeah, I mean
Yep.
that's just the deal of it. I'm going to bring this up. I'm going to leave it up in stream here. Let me get over to the other picture I want. I am going to, of course, cover the story here momentarily, but yeah, there you go. hmm Yep, yeah, that's our president right there, baby. It's and keep in mind this in that story we will get to, but this he posted this picture himself. This isn't a
Okay.
meme. This isn't other people doing. This is from Trump himself. Now, I'd imagine the FAFO is probably Barron or one of his grandchildren or nieces or something like that. But
Probably.
and the whole idea might have been Barron's, to be honest with you. But yeah, this is from Trump himself. It's
hmm
freaking awesome, dude.
He has a. He has a. He has a social media manager who's pretty young, in his mid
Maybe.
20s, I believe.
I bet.
So probably where a lot of it came from. But from what I understand, this gentleman has said publicly that yes, he talks often to Barron because
Yeah.
Donald tells him to talk to Barron. What's Barron think? Get Barron's opinion.
Yeah. Well, for the
And
young people
yeah,
stuff, yeah. I
yep,
mean, that's the thing. They go on about Trump, and they go on about how he's so arrogant. And it's like, well, you're not really paying attention. Trump isn't arrogant. He's egotistical. Yeah, sure. He's confident and sometimes overconfident, but that's kind of how you have to do the world. You got to grab it by the horns, right? But
yep,
he's not arrogant. I mean, and I'll give you a comparison for that. Trump often knows what he doesn't know and hires
yep.
people who do. That's arrogant
Mm-hmm.
people don't do that. Arrogant
Okay,
people do it themselves because they're better, right?
true.
He does this every single day. He surrounds himself with people who know things he doesn't know.
Yeah.
Now, Hillary Clinton, if you remember way back, this is way back, right? In the initial victory, he had that of course famous debate where, and we were kind of offhand talking about it earlier, where she had this I got him. Gotcha moment, right? And it's like, well,
Yeah.
you don't pay much taxes or any taxes or something like that. She had this shit eating grin, smug look on her face when she said it. She was so proud of her gotcha. And I wonder if was that her idea or some staffer, right? But anyway, this smug look on her face, and he's like, "Yeah, because I'm smart. I don't pay
Mhm.
taxes, and neither do any of your donors who are my friends. If
Right.
you don't like it, change the law." But I mean, it was that is arrogance. Hillary Clinton and many of these female leaders we see in the West these days, that's arrogance. They display a lot of arrogance. And it's killing them, right? We have, of course, we've seen a lot of this kind of nonsense with these females, and a lot of them are lesbian. Keep in mind, and I don't know if there's a correlation with that or just a unfortunate coincidence for the lesbians. But you got that Chicago mayor and her absolute nonsense. She's a moron, a complete moron, been put in charge of a major city and just messed it up beyond belief. And it was already messed up. You got LA, same situation, another black lesbian, right? Hillary Clinton, known for a long time to be a lesbian, right?
Yep.
Messing stuff up, causing trouble, saying dumbass shit, destroying countries that are still to this day non-functional. Libya, right?
Right.
Right? Open slave markets exist in Libya. Complete chaos in the street. It is not a country. It is completely out of control, right?
Right.
And you can go on and on and on about this ridiculously stupid female leadership. And the thing is, I'm kind of waiting to where the blacks, the lesbians, and the women in general start getting pissed off because these people who fill the positions I just said in whatever combination you like, they're making them look bad. Because I'm pretty sure you can find yourself a black lesbian in a wheelchair who's pretty smart and capable. Probably they exist, I would imagine, right?
Mhm.
But the ones we get that get thrown in our face are complete morons, right?
Yes.
Look at this idiot they trumped up in front of us for actually trying to suggest to become president. This woman who is literally only famous for sucking dick.
Yes. Yeah. Correct. All correct.
Yeah.
All
And
correct.
she
Both
was a
sides are damaged.
staunch, happy first time. I'm the glass ceiling breaking Indian lady, and then all of a sudden now she's black. You know, she lied a lot about a lot of stuff. You know, the Tupac thing and a whole bunch of stuff. She's a constant liar, politician, right? But the
Mhm.
biggest and funniest lie to me was when she was sitting down. I think she was talking to a group of people, or maybe it was just an interview. But she was talking to people in a way, I guess. And she was talking about how she grew up with Kwanzaa.
Yeah.
But first of all, Kwanzaa wasn't really a thing when she was a kid, so lie. Second of all, we've seen your family photos. You're an Indian girl, raised as an Indian girl. Your papa's
Mhm.
got a touch of black in him, but he doesn't identify as such. And she was just going on about her Kwanzaa. Someone gave her some talking points on Kwanzaa, and she didn't get those right. But it was just a straight up lie. Just a straight up lie. You've never celebrated Kwanzaa in your entire life. Now, I do find it funny now that all of a sudden she's out, she's divorcing her husband and blaming him for her loss. And it's like, what did he have to do with it? I'm pretty sure he was just set up as a beard anyway, lady. I mean, I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure. I don't think your marriage is real, right?
Yeah.
But whatever, it is kind of unfortunate because she is actually known for heterosexual activity, but she ain't got no kids. What happened there? She
Very good
uh
question.
she cut them all out, maybe. Hmm. I don't know. Was that too much? Might be. But we got other things like it seems like Obama and Big Mike are having some problems. Yeah,
That's what we hear. That's
yeah.
what we
With
hear.
Jennifer Aniston. It's like, huh?
That is what we hear.
Yeah, she's broken goods, guys. Stay away from her. What are you doing, Obama?
It's also crazy. It's
Yeah, that's what
crazy.
I mean. That's a broken good. Stay away from Jennifer Aniston. I mean, she's not bad looking for her age. Sure. Yeah, but don't mess with that. It's kind of like Bezos. This is going to be all gossip today, I think.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
The gossip stream, boys.
gossip stream boys. But Jeff Bezos showed up with quite the tart. Did you see?
Yes, that's I think that's the woman he cheated on his wife with.
Okay, my question is this: you're one of the richest men on the planet. What do you? Can't you do better?
You would think, especially since he's, got himself jacked and
Is he
clearly on TV.
Bezos or Bezos? I don't know. Yeah,
I think it's I think it's Bezos. But yeah, he's clearly got himself in really good shape. He's
yeah,
looking
that's
pretty
awesome.
good for a man his age.
It
You'd think
is.
he could pull something a little better than
But
that,
here,
but
yeah, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Okay, here's this chick. All right. Now, to each his own, right? We know, especially with men, we understand that with men, it doesn't really matter. One man's taste is completely different from another's. I get that. But that's a train wreck of a woman, dude. Look at her. That's an ugly woman. She, first of all,
yeah.
looks like a dude. Looks like a tranny.
Well, listen, might
No, it
be.
looks like a tranny, dude.
Might be.
Fake eyelashes, fake lips, fake tits, fake hair.
That's what they do to themselves
That
nowadays, some of
is, but
these
that is not an
females.
attractive woman, dude. That is not an attractive woman.
No, I agree.
Yeah. And old frickin' Zuckerberg was just locked on them titties, boy.
Yeah, he was. You can tell his testosterone's up. He's like, "Oh,
Oh,
boobs.
oh. I mean,
Boobs
yeah,
are
they're right
there.
here,
Hmm,
right? But that's not an attractive woman. That's an why do these women think looking like a duck with fake gigantic ass is a good thing? That's not a hot chick, dude. That is not a
Mm-mm.
hot chick. Now maybe she can suck the chrome off a trailer hitch and therefore valuable, or maybe they just built a relationship and his old wife just got kind of out of touch with the money and who knows. We see a lot of these rich powerful dudes end up with some ugly maid like Affleck or
Well, they
Schwarzenegger.
then what they do is they end up with somebody who actually listens to
Yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So maybe that's
Yeah.
what it is, and if that's the case, cool.
Yeah.
But tell her to relax a little bit on the Botox and shit, dude.
Yeah.
You know.
There's if you go up, there's his, wife, his ex-wife. I saw her. If you scroll up a little bit, in the red dress there, right smack in the middle, just about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
that's his
of course,
ex-wife.
their divorce made her the richest woman on earth,
Yes.
and yes, he likes chicks that look like dudes. Dudes will say, "Hey,
Um,
I ain't judging, dude. The
listen,
dude
everybody's
looks
got their
like a
type,
lady, man."
right?
Yeah.
Everybody's got their type.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
that is what it is.
Especially men. Women are less discerning in that regard, in
Mhm.
this particular regard. But yeah, men are. We have all kind of crazy tests all over the place. Black
Yeah.
woman in a wheelchair. Is that the new Spider-Man? It probably is. Yeah, it is. But nevertheless, Roger says hi. Let's see. Wow, the great things that are coming with the U.S. currency and the next things that are around the corner. I would love to see the expression on you and Thundero's face. Now that will be something to cheer about. I don't know what that meant.
I don't either.
Okay.
But,
Uh,
yep, I agree with you, Roger. Whatever you're after, bud.
Thumbs
I'm
up.
with
You
you.
get the thumbs up from me in the Arnold Schwarzenegger style, where the thumb is leaning too far forward. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's an ugly chick. And now she's super
Yeah.
rich. And what do you think she's doing with that money?
She's spending it on nonsense typically. Like, she's very politically active. That's what it's
Aren't
like.
they always? It's like Bill Gates's woman.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she did marry a man who probably, maybe, potentially is a pedophile, so
Yeah, well, they might
there's
well all
that.
possibly be falling into
There's
that
a lot of
category.
that going on. A lot of
Hmm.
that going on.
Oh, Trumpy seems to
Um,
think so, as does Mel Gibson.
yeah. Yeah. Very strange behavior to me. I
Yeah.
don't understand. You're one of the richest people on earth, and children is what you're after?
Yeah, really? I mean, yeah,
I just
really?
don't get it.
I
I don't
don't
get
get
it. When
it
you could
either.
look at Trump. At least his wives were all beautiful and, adults.
Yeah.
I know.
Bill
Crazy.
O'Reilly came out the other day. Let's take a look at Melania.
Melania, especially for her age, is just
Well,
stunning. Still stunningly beautiful.
yeah,
It's
she is a
crazy.
pretty lady. But the thing with Melania, here we go. This is the current Melania, isn't it?
I believe so. Pretty close to current, if not current.
Here's a
She hasn't
better
changed
one.
that much.
Yeah, here's a better one. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So here we have. Now she's my age. Literally, she's a few months older than me, right?
Hmm.
Now for a 54, very shortly 55-year-old woman, not bad looking at all, dude. Real
No,
good,
it's pretty
real good. And you can see she hasn't got tons of surgery on herself. Whereas a
doesn't look like
lot of
it.
his daughters or daughter-in-laws have cut on themselves pretty fiercely. They look
Yeah.
bad, like Laura. Ugh, ugh.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Yeah,
look
I don't
good,
like
dude.
it either.
It doesn't look good.
I
But
don't
I
get
don't
it.
care. They're not my
And even
women.
if she has, it's been minor stuff, right? It's not the grotesque stuff that a
I
lot
don't
of them
see
get.
any, and I think it's
I don't
probably
either.
Trump. I don't think he likes it.
I know he doesn't actually.
Yeah,
I've heard multiple people say he can't stand it. He thinks it's gross.
yeah.
But that
It is
all that
gross.
face
He's right.
stuff.
He is
Yeah.
100% right because I don't see anything on her. She's just a naturally good-looking lady. And like I said, this is a 55-year-old woman. She looks great for her
Mm,
age, man. She looks good.
mhm, mhm.
But it does. But this, no matter what age it gets to, is certainly better than whatever that is.
Yes, I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. Yeah, and I don't think she's much different in age. I think she's actually younger than Melania.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
So yeah,
if it's a simple case that she was a maid and she simply had caught his ear because his other wife was being a bitch, and if that's the thing, well, okay, fine. It is what
I
it is.
get it.
Yeah, I
Oh, I
get it.
get it. Yeah,
I
I
get
get
it.
it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I don't know
Yep.
how easy you got to be able to keep that one there. Old Zuck Zuck might come in and sweep that one out there, buddy. I mean, you got a
Yeah.
lot of money, but you ain't the Zuck.
I think Bezos has more than Zuck. I don't know
I'm
actually.
sure he does, but at that level, it doesn't really matter, does it?
Yeah, once you hit a Billy, what are we doing? What are we talking
Yeah, you're
about? Like
good. You're
you're
pretty
you're
good.
just you're just moving around deck chairs on the Titanic at
Yeah.
that point. Like, what are we doing?
To be fair, there for a long time, most people thinking Bezos was probably the first person to hit a trillion. As far as in our paper economy, there are
Right.
already trillionaire families, but
Yes. Yes.
we're not allowed to talk about them. But as far as the common man like us, everyone was expecting he's the first person who's going to hit a trillion. But I think Elon and his little plays here, he might overtake it.
Well, he's at almost a half a trillion last I
Yeah, yeah,
checked.
yeah. I mean, but
So
Elon's positioned himself, and he's being a bit of a child. But then again, he's an autistic dork. Trump's going to have to manage that, but I'm sure Trump's aware.
yeah, no, he's aware. Listen,
Yeah,
listen. Elon's like your cousin, maybe not little cousin, but your cousin
that's
who
like your
gets
little
real
cousin. Go with
excited.
that. Yeah, he
He
gets real
gets real
excited,
excited about
real excited.
everything for a
Yeah,
minute,
yeah,
just for a minute, and then he calms
yeah,
down.
yeah.
That's Elon.
He's like a little love bug. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He's cute.
Um,
But old Trumpy boy, it's just been impressive, guys. I mean, no, it's not the one I want. I want this one. Let's put it in the first position. Because it's been not a week, right? I mean, I think when I was on the show last week, his inauguration was coming later, right? Like a
yeah.
day later. So it's been what, 6 days? 6 days. Has he slept?
God, who knows at this point?
But then again, he's always like this. He's always like this his entire life. So it is what it is. But I just hope he makes it to the end in the hale state that he is. But it's insane, dude. He in a single day he went to how many American cities? What? Chicago? No, state. North
Yeah.
Carolina, Los Angeles, and then ended with a rally in Las Vegas. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm much younger than him, not half his age, but I am much younger than him. That would be a rough day.
It would. It would. Yeah. I don't think I could do it. I really don't think I could do it. And I'm much, much younger than him, so almost half his age. Like uh that is crazy.
Yeah.
That is the fact that he's able to go all around, and he always does it too. It's not like it's just, he just started doing it. It there's a lot of negative things you can say about old Donald, but his energy is just it's off
It
the
is
charts.
insane. It is.
Yeah.
But let's just talk about these first 6 days or five and a half days, really. Right? What has he accomplished in that time? Well, in the first day and a half, he had gave more speeches and on the camera in front of the people more than Biden was in his entire run,
Yeah.
mathematically. 4 years
Did he sign
compared to a
more
day and a
executive
half.
orders?
What was that, Israel?
Did he sign more executive orders?
I'm sure he did, but that's not what I meant. Just simple airtime.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's insane. A day
Don't
and a
ever
half
forget
compared to 4 years.
It is
the
nuts.
former president couldn't even go a day without pooping himself in front of all the
Well,
windows.
I don't know if any of that's actually true, but we all know that he had dementia. We know he had dementia
Mm,
before he was elected. Everybody
yeah.
knew it. I don't care what anybody says. Everybody knew it. They decided to choose senile grandpa over Trump because that's how much they hated Trump. But
Yes.
here is the reversal we have in front of us, and it's impressive how many people have come to kiss the ring. It
Have
isn't
you
it?
seen the approval ratings for Trump's first week?
Oh, every day it goes up. Yeah.
Yes, he is having the best week of any
Don't forget they
president.
also chose a old senile white man over their black woman
You really
Yes.
need
because
to
they
find
remember they
you need
chose
to
to
Your timing is pretty awful, Ethriel. You got to work on it, dude. You got to work on it. That's all right. It's a good place to practice. It's a good place to
It is.
practice. It
It
is.
is. We're a
Um,
welcome open
yeah, yeah, yeah.
stage.
But
Practice
you
it.
got to work on your timing. You have to find
Mhm,
those little pieces in between. Like Thunder and I will help you out. All right.
mhm, mhm.
Well, let's see. What should we talk about? Let's talk about Looney Tunes. Her name is. What would you comment on that? What do you think about that, Thunder?
About Looney Tunes, her name is.
Yeah.
Whose name?
I don't know. You choose.
Okay.
Anyway, that's good enough. Thank you. Yeah. But you see what I mean? We had a conversation with each other and we were in between the pauses and the breath of each other. We didn't step on each other at all.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's true. It's very true. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good
We
place to
don't usually
practice though,
though,
Ethrael.
Chester.
It's a good place. You should practice.
We don't
But
usually though, Chester. We're
let's
pretty good about it.
we are. We are.
Yeah.
Occasionally I do it just to piss you off.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
doesn't usually work, but yeah.
Well, one can try.
He is a persistent fella,
I
this
am.
guy.
I am.
Persistent.
Yeah. Anyway, what were you trying to say, Ethrael?
Oh,
He
Oh.
shows a senile old white man over the precious goddess.
Oh, you mean the Indian lady who then became a black lady who then became a train wreck? Yeah. Mm.
If you want hope as your president, why did you vote for the first time around?
Why does everybody have shitty mics?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. It happens
Is it
though.
the
It
mic or
happens.
is he his? What's your connection at home? What's your setup? Internet setup, Ethriel?
What is it?
You
I
got
think
like
it's yes, T-Mobile.
T-Mobile. Okay, T-Mobile.
Mm.
So that is for phones. Not you don't have a hard line. So you're like on a 4G network or something.
The T-Mobile, yeah, the T-Mobile is also internet.
Yeah, yeah, but is it a Wi-Fi connection or an LTE connection, or is it a hard line cable connection?
I think it's LTE.
Well, you would know. You either have a cable going into the device or no cable going into the device. So LTE. Okay. Um, I don't know. Is that I've seen people do that. Like Amy does that all the time, and it doesn't seem to matter.
Mhm.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what it is that's
Mm.
real, but you're always roboting, and it's there's like this it's like this it's like that.
Mhm. It
Yeah, I
goes
don't
real
know what it
quiet and it
is.
gets real loud suddenly. It's very strange.
Yeah, it is. It's not you. It's
It's
the
not you. It's
technology.
not
Yeah.
your voice or anything. It's
No, no,
something
no.
with the
It's the technology. Yeah.
connection or the Discord or whatever. It's strange.
It is strange. But you know, that's all
But
right.
some people have that too. I think some people's voices, this Discord just doesn't pick up very well
Maybe.
because
Yeah.
sometimes it happens with our friend Adrian too, where his voice will just not get picked up, and then all of a sudden it sounds like he's yelling
Yeah,
because
yeah.
because it just comes in. I don't know if it's the attenuation or what, but yeah, it's
Well, I
something
mean,
with the technology. I think
he is a bit mousy.
he is. Yeah, he's a very and he is in person too. He's a very soft spoken guy. He's
Yeah.
not allowed. He's not
Yeah.
me. He's not me and you, Chester. Loud
No,
enough.
well, that's okay. That's good.
Yeah,
It takes
there's nothing
many
wrong
to
with
make
it.
the world go round. I actually like Adrian quite a bit. The only problem
He's a
is
good
I
dude.
is trying to remember his name is Adrian and not Andre. No, every
Well,
time I say his name, I have
you
to
want to know
check it
what's
in my
funny?
head. It
You
won't
want to know
fix
what's funny?
itself. Yeah,
Not his name either.
I'm sure it's not. But it's the name I've been given. Because like your real name, I've only read it. I've never heard it.
My real name?
Yeah, are you Steven or Stefan?
Stephen.
Steven. Okay.
Correct way. The proper way to say it.
Yeah.
Stefan's spelled with an A.
My name is Hubert.
Hubert. I knew it. I knew
Yeah.
the Chester thing was all a lie the whole
Yeah.
time. Hubert Cornelius Busby. That's him.
Yeah. No,
There he is,
Hubert
folks.
Hubert P. Middlewood.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's funny because so the people I
Mhm.
know from Discord,
Hmm.
most of them anyway, they all just call me Thundaro. So
Oh yeah.
like Adrian's wife, da 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 da, and it's very strange to me because most people just call me Steven.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
when I hang out with them, I'm just Thundaro. Their kids call me Thundaro. Like
Mhm.
it just is what it is because that's what they're used to. And I was like, you know my name, right? You could just call me like, no. You're Thundaro.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
you're
way cooler
Thundero.
name.
It's cool. You've gained a moniker.
Yeah,
I don't know. Everyone keeps telling me I need to go by Cornelius.
it's a great name.
Yeah,
It's a great name.
I
It
never
Why?
really
sounds
used
beautiful.
it, but I mean, I
It
can.
sounds like a
It's
king's name,
a Cornelius. Yeah, all right, fine. And I
Cornelius.
shall be Cornelius the White.
Well, you already are, so that kind of works out.
It does. Oh, I'm extremely white.
Yes, but do you have white hair?
Yeah, but you know the
Yes,
funny
but do you
thing
have
with
white hair?
what was that, Israel?
But do you have white hair?
It is quite white now, and I have extremely porcelain skin. I don't tan. I just burn. Yeah. You know, the funny thing is, my dad's family, they're, of course, all white people, Scandinavians, right? But because culturally they've been down in the amongst the Bamaites for so long, they're technically Creole, you know. So, I mean, I guess Creole is more than just a racial thing because they ain't got
Interesting.
no black or Indian in them at all. But they definitely
Yeah,
would be
no.
considered Creole.
Yeah. Creole's a culture more than I'd say.
Yeah.
Uh, it's definitely a dialect the way they
It
talk.
is. It's the dialect that my wife can still to this day not understand a word of.
Well, in
Uh,
fairness, neither could I. So we're
yeah.
on the same.
I mean, I grew up with it, so I understand them.
I mean,
Um,
I can, but I have to really listen to him. Like, what is he trying to say to me?
yeah, it's rough. It is interesting, because I am half Creole,
Hmm.
in this culturally, without question. But I just didn't really pick any of it up, huh? I mean,
No,
and I mean, every year was traveling down to visit the Southern family, lived there several times. Especially when my grandmother was dying, we went down for several years. But of course, my dad was moving around, and I popped in other places in the South as well. But I
right.
just never picked it up. I guess I was born in the New England, and I just a New England asshole, a New English asshole. Let's go with that.
New English asshole. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's most of them, so it works out.
Yeah.
The
But I didn't pick
Americans.
it up. I understand the language. I understand the culture. All yada yada yada. I get all
I
that,
have a question,
but I'm
Jesse.
just not me. Yeah.
Your wife,
Yeah.
when you speak Japanese to her,
Yeah.
has she ever told you what your accent sounds like? Do you know what it sounds like to a Japanese speaker? A native
I
Japanese
do.
speaker?
I do because I ask those kind of questions to improve, right?
Yeah. Right.
Um, it depends. Most of the Japanese consider me Japanese by this point.
Right. You've been there
And of
long
course,
enough.
you can't live in an environment this long and not pick up some of the habits. You just can't, right?
Hmm.
Um, and I guess it depends. Some words are perfect, literally perfect. Other words are less so. But
Hmm.
I also speak with the local dialect. So
Hmm.
when I talk with people outside of this, small region, they laugh often because I sound like, take an example like a person from Kentucky, right? So they find it
Sorry,
So
I'm
funny.
you're a
laughing at
hick.
Maple Chic. He's funny. Go ahead.
Well, I mean that's so therefore, I don't know. My vocabulary isn't perfect. It never will be. It depends. Some words, like arigato or things like that, it's perfect. It's perfect. Other things, not as much.
Yes.
So yeah.
Interesting.
But
I do
I
find it interesting because when you talk to somebody who speaks very, very good English, but it's just off, right?
yeah,
Like Swedes are like this very often. They get real close to
yeah.
perfect,
Or
and it's just
Dutch.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just interesting how you can hear it. And they don't realize it. They don't hear it, of course, but you can hear it. So I'm sure it's the same. Of course, it's the same way with Japanese or any other language.
Right.
So
Well, that's
interesting.
a good thing about English, though,
Mm.
right?
Yes.
I mean, it has many forms, but in general, we can understand it. And this is probably a problem that a lot of Americans, and I'm assuming British and Australians have, is you're so stuck in your little neighborhood because you never go outside of it. That maybe your ear isn't as attuned as it should be. However,
Mm.
with modern YouTube and internet stuff, maybe that's going away. Maybe.
Could be.
I don't
Could be.
know.
Have you actually
Yeah, go ahead, Ezreal.
English?
Ezreal, you got to start from the beginning. Your microphone hates you.
It does. Yeah,
It does.
it's
Yeah,
true.
I, I said, have you heard some of the African and Asian forms of English?
I have.
Hmm. Hmm.
I have. The Africans actually
Because
amazing
yeah,
English
some guy did a
speakers.
video. Yeah, some guy did like dialects of English. Is
Yeah.
you can't even understand half what they're saying.
Oh
Yeah.
no, I can.
What's
That's what I
interesting
mean.
to
You have
me,
to attune your ear.
what's interesting to me is I can still
No, the
understand.
words are completely different.
I can understand Spanish still as long as the person doesn't speak too fast.
Yeah. You
And
just got to
but
slow
I
down,
can't,
please. Yeah.
but I can't speak it really. Like
No.
a little bit, but
Yeah,
not really.
I
But I can
know.
understand it because the words are similar
Yeah.
enough. The conjugation's all over the place, but the words are similar.
Right. I'm that way with every language I speak. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's true. Because one of the hardest things about language is where do you start? Now, I don't mean study and stuff. I mean just simply speaking. Where do you start? How do you start? That's kind of the problem. A lot of people pick up a lot of language and they can understand quite a bit by hearing people retort it to you. But where do you start when you want to speak? This
Mm.
is the most difficult part of language, linguistics.
Hmm.
And it's a bear. And like I said, I'm not very good at that at all. I'm really good at reading and writing stuff, because I'm an academic. That's what I do, right? But speaking wise, I suppose if you threw me in a culture, give me a month or three,
Mm.
right, and I'd be fine, I'd imagine. But then again, I threw myself into Taiwan. No one wanted to speak English at all. So within a month or 2 months, I was speaking the language because well, you have no choice. But then again, that's also how I learned chopsticks. I never used them before. I went over there and it was like not a fork to be seen. There's no in the entire island of Taiwan, there's no damn forks. It's just wooden sticks and paper, and they're poorly made at that time. You had to roll them together to get all the little splinters off so you didn't put them in your tongue. You know, that's how I learned how to use chopsticks. You just throw yourself right into that fire boy. The funny thing is, with that said, and this is not a self endorsement of any kind or arrogance. But when I use chopsticks now these days, the Japanese, it's such a thing that the Japanese often mention, or even the Koreans or Chinese, they often mention it's like you're really good with those. And for some reason, I have no idea, Thunder, but for some
Mm.
reason, when I was forced to learn chopsticks because I had no choice, I learned them exactly the way you're supposed to do it properly in the proper etiquette. How you're
Hmm.
supposed to hold them, how far back on the stick you're supposed to hold it. I mean, everything. I just naturally learned that way. Now I wonder, because I see a lot of people here in Asia whose chopstick use is quite, barbaric, really. But I wonder why that happened. Why did I, without any assistance, find the absolute perfect way to do a thing? How did that happen?
Yeah.
But it is what it
I
is.
don't know.
Because either you figured it.
Yeah, we lost you again, Ethereal. You might want to try to drop out and come back in.
Oh
It's
no,
it's
stop
really bad.
talking.
Oh, you did. Well, then
Okay,
do
I
that.
tried.
Okay.
Yeah, try to do that.
That'll
Yeah,
do it.
but it's an interesting thing with the chopsticks, right? Because
Yes.
like I said, this isn't me being some humble brag. I'm not. That's not what I'm doing. Really, really, really.
Right.
I mean, it's
Uh-huh.
an interesting observation because I had no choice. I had to learn how to use chopsticks because it's the only implement I had. That are my hands, right? And I
Mm.
did. You pick it up like any of you would. You pick it up in a few days, really. But
Mhm.
how is it that the way I learned is the perfect way you're supposed to do it? It's just an
Did you watch?
interesting thing. Oh, I'm sure I
Did you
did.
watch other
I'm
people?
sure I did. I'm sure I did.
Autodidact.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I'm sure I did, Ethriel. I do that all the time anyway, so I'm sure I did. It wasn't conscious, but I'm sure I did. But but yeah, I mean, exactly how I hold it, the way where my fingers are extended, it's way back on the stick as it should be. A lot of people crunch their fingers up and they're tight down on the stick, but my fingers are very extended, all the way extended, overextended, and I'm way back on the stick. And I, of course, the reason why that's the best way to do it is because it puts the stick in such a position that the points at the bottom are very sharply precise. So I can eat and I can pick up a single grain of rice without even thought, and just eat it, right? So I think it's the proper way to do it because it's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I know
Yeah.
you guys don't give a shit about chopsticks, but
Not at
it
all. No.
but it's an interesting thing. But for Asian people, it's a big deal,
Mm.
right? It's not like us with fork, spoon, and knife, and no one thinks about it. You don't turn your fork backwards. There's a couple rules we have, right? But
Right.
mainly they're very simple. To be fair, when I'm given a choice these days, I always choose chopsticks over fork. It's just better. They're better. You
Not
know,
what? Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
now they're
What do you mean
better.
by
Sorry,
better?
dude.
What do you
Th-
mean by better?
Because they're more agile, they're more precise, and your brain
Mm.
is constantly working whilst using them, where the fork is really kind of caveman shit.
Yeah. What's wrong with caveman? Caveman works.
No,
Caveman
I'm not
works.
against caveman, but given a choice, I don't know. I've come to prefer chopsticks. I often
He's
will choose them over the
assimilated.
fork.
This
Well, I
one. He's
guess, but I just think
gone
they're
native.
superior. It's a superior choice. It just is.
Mm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Now, a spoon is a
Interesting.
spoon. Everybody has one. Knives are knives, but how you pick your food up and put it in your mouth. I just prefer chopsticks, dude.
So you haven't mastered eating soup with chopsticks?
You
Lame.
didn't listen to a word I said, but that's all right. Alan says my Spanish is set at machine gun. Fair enough.
Yeah. Most Spanish speakers, especially of the Latino persuasion, is set at that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's very strange to me how fast they speak.
They
But
do
they'll
speak
say we
quickly.
do
Yeah.
that about well, they'll say that about English speakers too, and I don't some people sure, but most of us I really don't think speak that quickly.
No, I mean Spanish people are pretty rapid when it comes to things. But a lot of times when you look in language, you need to look at there might be a lot of syllables in the word, but how many words are there? And this can throw you off. Like with Japanese, it might seem like they're speaking very quickly, but when you understand that each word has so many syllables in it,
Hmm.
you realize that they're actually not speaking that many words.
Right.
But Spanish, but I say this because in my experience, and clearly yours as well,
Mhm.
Spanish languages, they just speak quickly.
They do. They blitz.
Yeah, they do. And I can follow it for the most part. Sometimes I do have to say, please slow down, right? But I can
Right.
follow it for the most part. But one thing I will say to you, Alan, all the rest of the men in the world, you do have our sympathies. You do. You have to deal with Latina. It's pretty harsh. I mean, the bonus is they're like the only actual sexy women on earth. I mean, real ones. So there's
Yeah.
a bonus, I suppose. But we all have we all have sympathy for you, buddy. We're here. I got you. You're in my heart. Because Latina women, I mean Latinas. Oh Jesus. Whew. Goodness gracious. You ever date one of them? I did.
Oh yeah.
Mm,
Oh yeah.
mm.
They are fun.
They are fun, dude. I mean, I've never had a woman literally monkeying bar on top of me and saying, "Eat puppy, eat puppy." It was awesome.
Oh my god.
It was awesome. But then again, within an hour, she's screaming at me because I I,
Yeah.
I, I didn't use a coaster.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. And they're It's passion. Just they're very passionate
They
women.
are passionate. I mean,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Passion is a double-edged sword,
I've
unfortunately.
I've never seen a woman who was her goal was how many positions she could get during the run, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you go, girl, you go. She has ambition, you know. Oh
Yeah.
well, but yeah, Latinas, man, you got our sympathy, dude. Who's he got here? See, um, I'm not the Eminem of Spanish or anything. Cuban Spanish is fast because we got to come up with excuses to our wives pretty quickly. Yeah, yeah, no. Yeah, like I said, you got our sympathy. You do. Now, I have probably amongst the most chill females on earth. So,
Mm.
I was smarter than you. Now, I mean, Japanese women, Asian women in general, but Japanese women are super chill, dude.
See, that's interesting because I've heard the other way. I've heard they're very what's the word? Demanding, but that's not the word I'm looking for. They have certain standards that you must hit, or they won't don't want anything to do with you at all.
Well, I
And
mean,
sometimes those are really
yeah,
high
but
bar.
that's just discernment. I mean,
Mhm.
but once you get past that and she's your woman, they're super chill. Yeah.
That's
I'd say
cool.
the noisiest, most troublesome women in Asia. Ooh, it's tough. It's either the Northern Chinese or the Koreans.
Interesting.
But comparatively to
Which
the Latina of our
which
conversation, ain't nothing, dude. Yeah, it's real.
which Koreans?
What do you say?
Which Koreans?
What do you mean by you said Koreans, but which ones? All of them?
What do you mean, which ones? There are Koreans, and then there are, Koreans. What are you talking about?
North or South Koreans, I
Oh,
think is
that's
what he's talking
political. They're Koreans.
about. They're all Koreans at the end of the day.
Nah, it's a distinct culture, right?
Yeah.
It's culture.
Mhm.
To be fair, they're a mix of Japanese and Chinese, is what they are. I mean, racially, but so they're Koreans. Culturally, there's not much difference between North and South, just economics, really. They're not that different, dude. Yeah, and honestly, they need to start being a bunch of pussies. Yeah, that's what I said, Korea, and deal with that and end that stupid war and pull yourselves back together. What are you doing? It's been 70 years. Jesus. But then again, I could say the
Mm.
same for the Irish. That didn't work out very well.
No.
That didn't work
Mm-mm.
out very well. But I mean, come on, Britain. Come on. Come on. It's an island. You're sitting on the northern part of it. We didn't do nothing. Fucking British. I'm glad Trump didn't invite you to the inauguration. I'm happy.
Well, what for what? What are we bringing this third world country here
Yeah,
for?
screw
What are we
these
doing?
people. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
No, the British have a lot of problems. They
They
need all
do.
kinds of help.
You
Mm.
realize they're the number one country in the world for brain drain? Did you know that?
Yeah, I could
Yeah,
believe it.
yeah.
I could believe
Number
it because
one,
why would you want to stay there?
dude.
Why
It's
would you
like
want
every
to?
few minutes,
Mhm.
millionaire.
Mhm.
Like every 40 minutes, a millionaire leaves Britain.
I believe it.
Yeah, I mean,
From the weather.
And they only have themselves to blame.
they do. That's true, right? That's right. That's real. They only have themselves to blame, but they are heading down like a rock. It's not good. Get yourself together. Maybe Trumpy can help them.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
Yeah. But
Hopefully he
anyway,
can. We will see.
But the thing is, both parties.
yeah. Okay, Israel. Go ahead. Go ahead.
The thing is, both parties are tax happy. Unlike here in the U.S., where the Democrats are tax happy, you go to the UK and everyone's tax happy. This party
Well,
wants to tax you. This party wants to tax you. Everyone wants to tax
let's be clear. The Republicans these days, which we call rhinos, are no different.
Yeah.
you.
Trump is different. Trump is reforming the Republican Party into the party of the people, which they never were. The Republicans have always had the idea we need to stop these slavers and racists of the South, these Democrats. That's why they were formed, right? And they've always had the idea that we need to have corporate down. Now, Trump's not different. He understands the value of rich men and power and that. He gets it. But Trump is taking a different approach. He's like, no, no, I'm going to go talk to the common man and I'm going to start down here first. So it's not trickle down economics, it's trickle in economics, right?
Mm.
You can have that one for free, Trump. My gift to you. Um, but um, but it's true, right? Trump has completely reformed the party, and in the past 4 years, in the 4 years he was in as well, but particularly the past 4 years, he's whipped them into shape. He
Yes.
has. He's whipped them into shape, got them in line, and dealt with most all of the rhinos. You still got Mitch McConnell and a couple other ones, right?
Mhm.
But when are we going to get rid of the? What are you doing, Kentucky? I mean,
That's
Kentucky.
I've asked myself that question many times. What are you doing, Kentucky?
Put Turtle Man down. Give us
Um,
your JD Vance, please.
it'd be nice. I know they exist. I've been there, seen them. I've met them. It'd be nice to have one from
Well,
Kentucky.
but
What a
Kentucky's
great
got the
state.
hollers. They got their culture. They're a thing. Kentucky's a thing.
Yep.
I
They
mean,
got the
honestly, if
Derby.
I asked you to tell me what is Arkansas, uh,
A mistake of a name. That's
yeah,
what it is. But
Kansas. Well, wait a minute.
Arkansas. Who
That's
did that?
weird.
Who
Who
did that
did
to these
that?
people?
Who did that? But I'm just saying, Kansas has got an
Mm.
identity. A lot of states have identities, but not all of them.
Yeah. Yes.
I
My
mean, what
state
is
has quite the
Mississippi?
identity.
Inbred? I guess. Okay. But I mean, Texas has the Alamo, and the New England states,
Mississippi.
of course, have history.
Mississippi. Hey, at least we're not Alabama. That's Mississippi.
Oh, dude. Speaking
You're
from
not
experience,
Josie.
Alabama's way better than Mississippi, dude. Way
Yeah,
better.
but that's what they think. That's their motto.
Yeah. I actually
But
have family. Yeah.
Alabama actually has a really high concentration of the most intelligent engineers and stuff in the world.
They're
Uh,
they're upwardly mobile. But then again,
yeah,
the southern states are kicking it, dude. They're making money.
yeah,
They're making
they're
money.
doing all right.
Yeah, they're
They're doing
doing
all
really
right.
well. But I actually have family in Mississippi, and
Oh, cool.
I went to visit them from time to time, and I shit you not, driving down a long road to get, because my family, like a lot of Creoles, they live in these compounds, these community type things, right? So you go down this long road, there's swamp deer jumping all over the place. Come in, there's a collection of buildings, there's people walking all over the place in overhauls. That's real. And all the kids are barefoot, straight out of Deliverance, baby. My
Mhm.
kin. Mississippi, dude. Say I'd love you, but I don't.
Is it true that
Mississippi.
everyone calls everyone cousin?
No, that's more of a Hawaiian thing, actually. But yeah, and the inbred thing, you find that anywhere, dude. I mean, and
Sadly.
yeah, well, but then again, we know now genetically. I mean, it's culturally a stigma for safety reasons. But now we know, as long as you're not making a baby with someone who has the same mother as you, right? This is
Mhm.
fine. Like, say, your mom and dad and this stepsister's mom, the same mother, but the dads are different. You
Yeah.
should not be messing with just that, because the same mother is where the issues come. And the reason for that is
Mm.
very simple. Women's egg is what is responsible for mutation. And of course, we need
Mm.
mutation because otherwise we'd all look identical, right? Like the cheetah. The cheetahs don't have mutation replication inside of them.
The
Therefore, every
cheetah.
cheetah on Earth is a clone,
Interesting. God's
right?
clones. Cheetah. And they're fast too.
They are. But I'm just saying, and it's a functional clone. It works,
Yeah.
right? Now, was that something nature created or was something man created? I'm going to lean toward the latter. But I'm just saying that's important. We need mutation. But when the mutation is too close, it really starts getting chaotic. And that's why you
Okay.
don't make babies with your sister. Your
Yes.
cousin, especially like second cousin or the family separated cousin, something like that, technically, it's no problem.
technically, but I'm still all right. I'm all right. I'm
Yeah,
good.
yeah. No, culturally, it's not cool. But I'm just
There's
saying,
there's plenty of
technically.
non-cousin vagina out there. I don't need
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't need my cousins.
Whereas me, I went the extreme opposite, right? I went
Yeah.
to a completely different race. And of course, there are other problems that come into that. When
Yeah.
we can make babies amongst each other, but don't think it's as smooth as it is with the same race. It's not.
Correct.
It's
Correct.
not. We can make babies with each other, but it's not perfect synthesis. It's not. Um, the safest baby making you're going to get is with someone of your race. That's just
And
the
your
truth.
direct ethnicity. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, 100% that's true.
Hmm.
Both my kids had some minor problems, right? That now,
Hmm.
luckily, they weren't big, and it's all good. But it's an issue, and this is something
Yeah.
no one really talks about because I guess you're not allowed. But it is an
Yeah.
its Yeah,
Verboten. Yep.
verboten.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
maybe
no,
that's going to change
it's
though with Trumpy.
lots changed very quickly.
Yeah.
Some of
Shall
it,
we talk about
like,
this past 6 days?
it's been a whirlwind. He has been on fire,
Yeah,
Mr. Trump.
yeah. He has. He literally went to go
Mr.
deal with
Trump.
fire. That
Yeah,
was a
he almost
highlight.
was physically on fire. Yeah, no.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but
Mm.
let's talk about that, shall we?
let's
Let's get
let's
into it. Let's get into it.
let's do it.
Love this picture, but let's just get into some of these topics we have. Go ahead.
Let's see what we have here, everybody. Trump issuing emergency 25% tariffs against Colombia after country turned back deportation flights. Listen,
Yeah.
let me just put this real quick. Colombia, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
I mean, what do you do? What
What are
did you
you
think was
doing?
going to happen? You think he was
And
going to be okay? All right, see ya.
yeah,
All right, just let him back. Let these murderers back in,
yeah.
because it's not like he's deporting random construction workers
Not yet.
with these
He
flights.
will,
Right.
but not yet.
That's
Yeah.
probably coming. But
Yeah.
these are murderers and rapists and
Yeah. These are
killers and
bad
drug
dudes.
dealers and gang members.
Um.
These are the bad guys.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
sending them home.
He is, but there's several, and we're gonna cover this topic. All right, but this being CNN and as incompetent as they are, of course, this headline doesn't actually give you the correct information. Yes, there
Yeah,
were emergency 25% tariffs, which I don't know what they are. I didn't know emergency tariffs existed, but I'm here for it.
emergency tariffs. I
Yeah.
don't know what it
But
means,
he
but I'll.
also kicked out
Right?
all the Colombian ambassadors and representatives, said that he was going to remove every Colombian person connected to the government in any shape, form, or that he could, including their family.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what? That's not even playing around. Now, how long would you, chat? How long would you think it would take to get a response? Because this Colombian president, he came out and he said, "We will not be bullied by the American." And this doesn't sound very Spanish. The evil of picking on the Spanish people, yada yada yada. He made
Yeah.
his big stand and his big statement. How long after Trump just immediately did you think the El Presidente responded? Anybody? How long did it take for him to
I know.
literally be on his freaking knees?
I know the amount of time. It
2
was
days. Just kidding.
no
1
Well,
hour.
1 hour.
closer,
Ooh, getting closer. Go ahead.
closer. It's
Go ahead.
closer.
Tell him.
About 30 minutes.
30
About
minutes. I think it was like 32, 34, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Before he was like, okay, never mind.
yeah. Not
Okay,
only
never mind.
not only did he say never mind and apologize, he offered up his own personal plane to help.
Yes.
Now, I know what you're saying. These are mafia tactics. Hmm. Yeah, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, and I love it because it worked. He immediately just grabbed a hold of him like a chew toy and shook his head left to right for a few seconds, and he said, "No mas." Now I knew there was going to be a country that would step out of line and he would smack them, as an example, right? I knew it was going to happen. I didn't know it would be Colombia, but it's fitting. I
It
mean,
is
honestly,
fitting.
does anyone care about Colombia? Anybody?
Not even Colombians, it
The
seems,
No.
coffee.
because yeah, that place
Not
is a
actually. The
mess.
best coffee these days comes from Africa.
well, it always should have, to be honest. But that's another topic.
Oh, no.
Um,
Okay.
Chester knows where I was going with that. But no, it's one of these things. A lot of these countries down there, the people are so demoralized by the warlords and all the corruption that it's they either just want to leave desperately, like we
Yeah.
see with these migrants,
Yeah.
or they've just given up on all form of hope
Hmm.
of ever getting out of their situation. And then some places like El Salvador, the people were like that, and then they basically Hail Married in one of the greatest presidents alive, and he just came in and fixed it. Just simple as fixed it.
Yeah, just get
And
it done. Because
yeah,
he don't like all that red tape. Oh, Trumpy.
yes.
He don't
And I
like it.
think that's what's so him and Bukele have been talking, and they're setting up all sorts of things to send back some of the El Salvadorans.
Right.
Uh,
Well, that dude's willing to
and
work with him, though.
yeah, well, that's my point. What Central America and Southern America needs is more men like him, more men like
Yeah.
Millet, more men who, whether you like them or you don't, there comes a time where things come due. And what that means is somebody has to be the bad guy and go in there and say, that's enough.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
enough now.
It's
It's
enough.
time to be adults again. You're
Yeah.
hurting
Yeah.
everybody. Nobody needs this. Nobody
It's
wants this.
nonsense. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
enough. And
Now,
I think it's going to spread. I think Argentina and El Salvador were very interesting test cases
and they're
of
working.
the contagion,
They're
and it's
working.
working. So I don't see any
Millet
reason
is
why it
doing
wouldn't
a good
spread.
job. He's working,
He
dude.
is.
I
So is
mean,
Bukele.
so in a different way.
Yes.
Now, Millet
Well,
has been
they have
brown
different
nosing.
problems,
Well, they do.
but
But Millet has been brown nosing Trump hard, dude, hard, right?
yeah.
But here's the thing: is it going to pay off for him? You think?
Probably.
I hope so. I
Yeah.
hope Trump acknowledges it and gives him a little bit of love because that would help him be even more successful. And if we can turn Argentina around and turn it into the gem it was 100 years ago,
It should be. Yes.
it is as
Hmm.
should be. That would be a feather in the cap, dude. That would be a great thing to have a true wealthy ally in the Western Hemisphere. That
It'd
would
be
be
great.
nice, dude. It
We
would be
used to have
nice.
them,
We did,
but
but you
then
get these idiot Democrats and economists come in and think that we can't have any competition.
yeah.
We need to crush them, and that's been going on
Well,
100 years, right?
yes, and it's there's I can't remember what it's called, but there is actually a name for the plan. Is it the Marshall Doctrine? It's something like that. And
No, the
it's
Marshall one was the one we did for Japan and Germany and
yes,
Italy.
yes, yes,
So
you're
yeah,
right. It's something like that though. I can't remember the name of it. Somebody could probably look it up and find it. And that's basically the idea is we keep these places in a very managed decline
that
so
might
they
have been
can
the
never
Vanderbilt
rise
one,
up.
to be honest with you.
Maybe. They can never rise up and be any kind of direct economic threat. But they don't have to be. We are the king at the top. It's not even close. It's not even close. It's not even debatable.
Well,
So
right now, yeah, yeah.
why keep pushing them down?
No, let's
And
help
for
them
the
out.
foreseeable future.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's lift
well,
them up. You want to get rid of the cartels, you want to get rid of all the drug lords, you want to get rid of the migrants, you want to get rid of all that stuff, you want to get rid of it forever? Make those places livable. Make them
which
better
is
and
something
people
the
will go.
Democrats have been saying for a while. They just failed at it. Um,
Yes.
but Alan says, didn't Argentina become better in the late 40s? Yes, but it didn't work, right?
Right.
Because you had all the economists and all the bankers come in and just screwed it up because they're a bunch of communists. It's been 100 years, dude. It's been 100 years.
Yeah.
And Milei's having
Well,
success. I hope
that's been
Trump.
almost 100 years.
Well, I hope Trump. Well, then again, if we want to get conspiracy of theory about it, TFT as if. Um,
Put the tinfoil on. Yep.
yeah, well,
Hmm.
100 years ago, a little over 100 years ago, is when all of this shifted anyway, right?
Yeah.
America went away from the tariff system and implemented income tax and their whole Social Security thing. They basically began the process in a very large, and people blame this all on Nixon, but actually it was 100 years ago that they basically took us off the gold standard, really. I mean,
Yeah.
really. And started collecting. And keep that in mind. If you were around 100 years ago, they were coming by and saying, give us your gold with guns.
Yeah.
I shit you not,
Yeah.
in America, right? We
Hmm.
don't talk about this stuff, but it's real, right?
Yep.
And with Trump, I think, he's not he's not political. He's not part of their cadre, right? He wants to get us back to a gold standard. I think he's not
or
said
something
so, but
like
I
it.
feel so.
Something like it. Yeah,
Yeah,
something that the dollar's backed on that isn't just, farts and dreams.
that is true,
Something
Alan.
material, something that can't be ratcheted up or down whenever they feel like it. That would be good. It might be Chester. I'm not saying I want this to be the case, but it might be crypto. He's
It
been
could be.
making
It could be.
huge moves into the crypto space, making big, big promises for
Yeah,
crypto.
he has. He has. He's done all the
We
right
should be
things. He just needs to follow
the
through.
crypto center. Yes, we
Yeah.
should be the crypto center of the world. There's whether anybody likes it or not, crypto is valuable. It's there.
Yeah.
It hasn't gone away. It's been over 10 years. It's not going away anytime soon. Uh, I just think we need to embrace that reality instead of running from it. So,
Yeah, no, and you've seen a shift toward that thinking. But
yeah,
and he's done other things. Like I said, they're all it's all great ideas. We just need to follow through. And we know Trump, he wants to, right? The whole thing with the AI data center, this literally the size of a building, the size of a city in Texas, with Masayoshi and the other ones. The fact that it pissed off and threatened Elon so much should tell you something. Because
yeah,
he's not got a piece of it. He's not making money on it, so he's being a little bitch. Because he is Elon is a little bitch.
a bit, yeah.
He
Mhm.
is. I mean, I
Especially when you
love
press
I
the
love
buttons.
Elon for what he does, but I mean, it's good that he's so dorkish and autistic because he's like a bellwether
Mm,
in a
mhm.
way, right?
Yeah,
And the fact that he responded so viscerally to it shows me that ooh, they're onto something over there,
yes.
right? Um,
It is interesting to watch though. It's been an interesting week. I've been trying to stay back from it, just let it happen.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Let's just see. Because we've been here before with Mr. Trump. His
sure,
first week in office in his first term, he was a whirlwind too. And
yeah,
then he
yeah.
slowed way down. Now there's various reasons why he did, but that did happen. Um, so let's see, because a lot of the stuff he's doing, like the executive orders and stuff,
Yeah.
are good, fine, great, some of them.
But most
However,
of them have to go through court cases, though. Let's be
they have
fair.
to go through court cases and they're not law, meaning
No.
if a Democrat or even a Republican who disagrees with him gets in next time, they can just simply undo them and
Well,
then we're right back where we
you know,
were.
something I've noticed him doing a lot this time around, and I don't think it's all Trump. He's got the right people around him
Yeah.
this time more so than last. But a lot of the things he's doing, this bravado, he's using it to expose the assholes, to get them to
Mm,
expose themselves. And
yeah.
maybe what they're doing is just preparing fodder for the midterms.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
Because here's the thing. If we can get 4 years at this pace, or even half, or even a quarter at this pace, to be honest with you, um, and they're able to suss out all of these rhinos and really expose the Democrats for what they are, even more so. With California is a perfect example of that, right? With the fires and stuff. But if they can accomplish this, you could see a bigger gain in midterm, right?
Yes.
And when it comes around to Trump to go into the sunset, and I'm assuming JD to take over, the chances of him winning are much higher. And unless he screws it up monumentally, and the guy seems pretty stable to be honest with you, we could be
Mm,
looking at 12 years here, right?
could be.
And in
Could be.
that 12 years, if they're serious, Trump seems to be. I don't know about JD, we'll see. But if they're serious, 12 years of banging at the frickin' door like this,
Yeah.
dude, dude.
Radical worldwide change would
Yeah,
happen.
because it's going to
Mhm.
change the whole world. You're already seeing it doing so. We had the
Yes.
Massachusetts governor there saying, "I will never assist Trump in the hell getting our citizens," and of course, completely missing the point that they're not your citizens. They're
That's right.
literally illegal. I love how all these Democrats come up and say they are protected by law. No, they're not. They're not American citizens. They're not protected by our Constitution. They're not protected
Yep.
by anything. They're not Americans. Right? But anyway,
And the
it took
They
what,
are
a
protected
week?
by.
Not even a day, I think it was.
Hmm.
And she immediately like, oh well, it's okay,
They
right?
are protected by the laws they made up. The governors.
Yeah, but they're not though. They're not citizens. They're not covered by any protections whatsoever. They're literally illegal aliens. They literally are criminals. Every
Yeah.
single, even little old grandma is a criminal.
But, yep. They want those precious ankle babies. That way they can get them to vote for them.
Oh,
That's
now
all it is.
what do you guys think? You think he's going to get that through the court somehow or another? If he gets it up to Supreme Court,
I
I
hope
don't know.
so.
Do you think he can get that birthright thing done? Because
Depends on their argument.
that's a big one, dude.
It is a big one, and he's
Uh,
correct. It's very clear that when they wrote that, they didn't intend that, obviously.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
And
I'm going to
Yeah.
get some
but it'll
coffee.
depend on the legal. It'll depend on the legal argument. So if they can make the correct argument, I think most of the conservative guys will probably agree. The problem is you have people like Roberts on there and Amy Coney Barrett who are, well, when it comes to certain things, really, really dumb. And we will see. We will see. I hope so, because it's kind of like certain other, like the Fourth Amendment wasn't intended to protect abortions, so they repealed that. They fixed that ridiculous interpretation of the Fourth Amendment. The uh the the 14th Amendment, which interesting that I chose 4 and 14, but whatever, uh, wasn't wasn't written to grant citizenship to anybody who just pops out a child on our soil. That's silliness, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And because
Yep.
no country in the world behaves this way except America. It's obviously not how they intended it, and the fact that it's been interpreted that way, because it is kind of how it's worded. It was clearly intended to mean the slaves and the former slaves and the children of slaves is what they were aiming for. They were trying to make it so all these slaves that they just freed, all of these slaves that are now citizens, equal citizens, they're all considered equal citizens, right? That was the point. It wasn't
Yes, and
about
yes,
it
and
wasn't
include Native
about ankle
Americans as
babies.
well.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, it wasn't any of that stuff. And it's interesting that we've gone so long where this has been the de facto law of the land, and it's very clear that's not how it was intended. It's kind of like how liberals try to argue against the Second Amendment, and they say, "Well, they clearly didn't mean you could have machine guns." Well, what do you mean they didn't mean that? Yes, they did. They did not mean it. Machine guns didn't exist. Technically, they kind of did, but not like we think of machine guns. Uh,
Yeah,
but
didn't
the
they have to
point
crank
is,
them?
yeah, they were crank fire. The puckle gun. The point is, these sorts of things are silly things that both sides do. They try to reinterpret relatively clear language to mean one thing when it doesn't, or they want to ignore the intent of the law, because that's important. The spirit of the law is just as important as the letter of the law in all jurisprudence, pretty much everywhere that makes sense, especially in the West. What is the point of this law? If the law says don't eat ice cream after 11 p.m. on a Wednesday, we would say, okay, but is that really the law, or is there a reason why that was a law? Because there are weird laws like that in places in the country. Uh, there was a reason for that law. It wasn't just so people wouldn't eat ice cream. Maybe there was some belief that it would make you sick or whatever, right? I'm using a hypothetical here. But most of the laws,
Yes,
most
I
of the
know.
Constitution,
You
most
got
of
to
the Bill of
upset Biden,
Rights,
dude, just so you know.
most of the Bill of Rights was written with intent. What was the intention of these
Right.
words? Now, when it comes to, we'll take the Second Amendment, it's the best example. We know what the intention was because it was written based off of, I want to say it was Virginia's Second Amendment. I think that's correct. Or Virginia's amendment for gun rights. And that was written by George Mason. And George Mason was very clear on what he intended this to do.
Yeah,
And
he was.
Madison was very clear on what he intended the Second Amendment to do. So it's very strange how they try to make this argument, and the way they do it is they play this weird. Sometimes they're very literalist with the law, and then other times they decide they're not.
Yeah.
Game, like every side, and both sides do it. By the way, it's not a left or a right thing, and I very much hate it. I very much hate it because it's very stupid.
hmm
Just
So,
stop being dishonest.
you've read the Q&A that is the Federalist Papers.
Well, yes, I
Oh,
have
that's very.
numerous times
Yeah.
when I was younger.
Yeah.
Uh, Yeah, it's everybody should. In fact, the fact that you don't have to have read it and done a report on it before you graduate high school in America is a travesty. A
Yeah,
travesty,
no, they,
let's
I don't
face it.
get that either. I agree with you. But the
Yeah.
whole anchor baby or birthright or whatever you want to call it, I mean, it's once again a common sense thing. You can't
Yeah.
be a tourist, come into a country, drop a baby, and say, "Hey, it's a citizen."
Can't kick us out now. Wait, what?
That's ridiculous. It's just,
Yeah.
and keep in mind, I have an interracial, international relationship.
Yes.
My
Yes.
kids are
Mhm.
countryed and
Yes.
passported, right?
Yeah.
I have
And
more sympathy for this than the average American.
your kids were born in America, right? Weren't they
Yes,
born in Hawaii?
yes,
Yeah. So in a way, they kind of are that,
yeah.
right?
But
Under
it's
that
done.
interpretation of the
It
law.
was done within the law,
Yes,
right?
exactly. And it's like I don't think there's any other country on the planet that has this rule, and if there is, I don't know of it. And it's silliness. It's
No, it is
so
silly.
nonsensical.
It
Yeah,
is,
it's
and
ridiculous.
well, because we get this, there's a little poem that was put upon the Statue of Liberty. I can't remember the lady's name that wrote it, but it was a lady, obviously. Give us your poor, your humbled
Yeah,
masses. You know that one.
yeah. He's a
That
socialist, in
is
fact.
not actually ensconced in law, nor is it the American attitude. The
No,
fact that we want all
English is excellent.
the rabble of the world. That's not America. America, if you know, a lot of people forget this, but during the war, which everyone talks about, keep in mind Americans weren't interested in getting that war at all, and most Americans leaned toward and had sympathy for the Germans, right? Keep that in mind, right? And one of the biggest complaints that the Europeans had about the Americans, keep in mind, they're always trying to kick us. They always look down on us. They always laugh at us. They always mock us. The Europeans
Yep.
have no respect for you. I don't care if we're rich and powerful. They don't care. They look down at us as being inbred cousins. That's how they
Right.
think of us. And one of the biggest things they used to bitch about us all the time is the concept of American exceptionalism. Frickin' even
Mhm.
the great Einstein, the German dude, which everyone seems to think is an American. Do you not read? Anyway, um, one of his biggest complaints, he always bitching about America and American exceptionalism and how ridiculous it was. And it's like,
Mhm.
no, Mr. Einstein, go back to Germany.
You came here for a reason.
Yeah,
Albert.
yeah, to not
Yeah,
die,
doesn't.
Yes,
right? But
Yeah, that's the
American
thing. It's like
exceptionalism is a
Einstein.
thing. It's a thing,
it
right?
is. Even if it wasn't, the belief in it was. So let's
It
say it
was.
wasn't true. Say it was all bravado. Okay, so we still got to the damn moon, allegedly. We still conquered the West. We still did all these things. We still won multiple world wars. Like, we've still invented most great inventions of the last so long, or were instrumental in their invention, or were instrumental in their implementation. One way or the other, we were involved in the chain of it becoming a common thing, right? Um, or funded it directly, like the internet. So there is some truth to having that mentality, to having that swagger, that confidence. That no, we're special, and we're going to show you. We're not just going to say it. We're going to show you. We're going to build these guys. We don't do this anymore. We need to. We're going to build these skyscrapers. We're going to build these all these awesome things, and we're going to do it in a time that you said was impossible. Oh, and they're going to stand for 100 years, no problem. Watch, because we can. Because one of the best things Obama ever did, probably the best thing about Barack Obama, was he was a lefty and a Democrat, but at least he presented a positive view
And a
of
buggerer.
Americanism. Yes, a positive view of Americanism with his speeches anyway.
Yeah,
When he would
his
his
speeches,
yes we
yeah,
can
speeches.
and
Yes, we can. Yeah,
his oratory and the
yeah,
way like that was beautiful. That whoever
yeah. It
wrote
was.
that, it
It's
was
wonderful,
beautiful and it's
and
true.
he's a
Everything he
great
said was
orator.
true.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, fantastic.
You know,
Everything he
this,
said is true. The motto of America, the ethos of what makes America great, right?
yeah,
Make America great
yes,
again.
we can.
The thing that makes it great is that when people tell us we can't, we say, "Okay, watch.
Yeah, watch
Watch
us,
me.
watch us.
Bet.
We might
Let's
lose a
watch.
few Darwins in the process, but
Yeah,
watch us,
watch us.
right? No, you're
Let's do
right.
it.
That
Let's do
was
it. Let's see who gets
wonderful,
there first."
wonderful motto. Yes, we can. It was
Yes.
great. But speaking of oration, we haven't
Uh,
talked about the inauguration at all. Um,
you know what? I never even saw the speech. I just heard it was great.
I watched it. I watched it all live, right?
Yeah,
And one, he did mention exceptionalism in the speech, and I was very happy he did.
we
Right?
need it.
He actually said
The
that.
world
But
needs it.
Here's the thing: for 30 minutes, he got up, not a teleprompter in sight, of course,
Yeah,
right?
it's because he does, as he does. Yeah,
Gave an actual really good speech. I've
yeah,
probably seen him do better speeches, but it was a solid, solid speech. He covered all the points he wanted to. He had a lot of great little anecdotes in there that who knows? Maybe he didn't write it, someone else did. That's fine. But like I said, it's all in his head. And the way he works, I get it because he's used to talking to people. I stand up every day and talk to people. I understand what he's doing, right? But he's got points in his head, right? He's got the points he wants to cover. He's got his zingers, right? And then he goes. And along the way, he's got to put the points and the zingers together as he goes along, right? And all the other stuff is just filler. That's what he does. Any kind of public speaker does this, right?
yeah,
But he's really good at it. It was a good speech. It was an inspirational speech. It was a unifying speech. It was really, really good. And we're seeing the effect of it because a lot of people are coming around. And it's not just the politicians and I'm not going to use the word statements for those fuckers, but he might be bullying them into position, but the population is coming around. How his approval rating you mentioned every day is going up
yeah.
because Americans are seeing very starkly and clearly, yeah, what we had sucked. This is better. He's getting stuff done. And here's the thing that a lot of these pundits don't seem to understand. Even if you don't agree with Trump and you hate him and you think he's a freaking Nazi, right?
Right.
The simple fact that he said he was going to do something and he did it, even with the people that hate Trump, respect that.
Yes, they do, and I can prove this. So, I know you've heard of Stephen A. Smith. He's the mostly sports commentator, the African American gentleman, and he's very loud and very
Hyperbolic,
boisterous.
yes, he is.
Yes, yes, yes. But he went on Bill Maher's show, and he just straight told them to their face, like, "Look, here's the truth of it. He said he was going to do this, 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 this. He got in there, and in the first week, he did all of it, or he tried to. He did all of it. The people see that. You can say all you want about all this other stuff. Nobody cares. The people were so sick of false promises of somebody
And
saying, "Yeah,
non-action.
we're gonna do this. We're gonna build back better. We're gonna do this infrastructure plan. We're gonna fight COVID. We're gonna do all these things," and then none of it happened. None
Nothing
of it
happened. Yeah.
happened. None of it happened.
Yeah.
People were sick of it, and this has been going on for decades. And you also have to remember, me personally, this was my experience with COVID. The Biden administration murdered my father. Period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He could have been saved by those antibiotics, the special ones, the microbial or whatever it's called,
Yeah.
and they were rationing them. They were rationing them away from white men. This was the policy
Yeah.
of the CDC at the time, to make sure only minorities, unless certain other criteria were met, only minorities were able to get it. There was multiple videos, multiple posts, people showing it, coming in, documentation that they were doing this, and the reasoning wasn't some sort of "we hate white people," even though that might have been it. It was because typically white men had a better survival rate than everybody else. Okay, fine, but what about my father? He's dead. You killed him because of your rationing for no reason. For no reason. We never came close to running out, by the way. Never. Not once. So he's dead now. He's gone. And I am not alone. If you think I'm alone, you're out of your mind. There are hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people like me who lost somebody during COVID that they didn't have to because of bad policy, stupid decisions, and fear, panic.
Yeah.
That's why.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
That is something
I
you
lost my
can't have.
grandfather.
I hate to
Yeah,
correct you in such an emotional moment, but yeah,
go ahead.
it is racism. It is.
Well, it
I
probably
mean,
was.
no, no,
I'm
it
giving
definitely
them
is.
the app.
Um,
I'm giving them a minor benefit of the doubt, but I
well,
think it was. I
no,
agree with you.
here's the thing. I talk about this all the time over here, whereas racism is not usually what you see, it's culturalism, tribalism, right? And
Right.
this is
Right.
true. This is true. But racism, there, it does exist. It is real. And
Yes.
the past 4 year, more than 4 years, really, but especially the past 4 years. Not only have we seen racism at a rampant rate, we've seen it criminally enacted.
Yes.
Right? Now you're like, oh, we're white people. You can't be racist toward you. You need to be slapped in the face multiple times.
Smacked in and about the face is what you need, sir.
The head and shoulders, yes. But no, I mean, no, it's just pure hate. And this is
Yeah.
one of the things. Look at all the stress it caused. Look at all the nonsense it's caused, right?
Yeah.
And all the unhappiness. And all we needed, it seems, was for a dude to come and say, "Yeah, a woman is a woman. Fuck off."
Right.
That's all
Stop
we
being weird.
needed. Someone to come and say,
Stop being
"No,
weird.
there's only two genders. No, we're not doing that. No, no." Right?
Call yourself whatever you want, but we're not
Hmm.
making it official. Is
Well,
basically
see,
all he said.
and here's the thing where these people have screwed up. And they're been used. Keep in mind, you gays and transgenders and whatever you
Mm.
progressives are, you're being used, right?
Yeah.
You 100% are, right? But the thing is, people are kind of chill enough to tolerate you as long as you're not hurting anyone. We're chill to tolerate you. But of course, that's not good enough. We have to have acceptance, and it's demanded. And we're going to do everything we can to tear you down and hurt you to make you accept it. To give you, there are so many dumb things. We literally had people come out and say babies are Nazis, are racist. We literally had that, right? We had dumbass transgenders come out and say, if a man doesn't want to have sex with me, he's just a Nazi homophobe. Well,
Yeah.
what if I'm not gay?
Yeah. What if I don't like penis?
Hmm.
Yeah, what if I don't like
Or
penis? I mean,
And yet,
don't
I'm
like
cool
penis?
with you. Do you, dude?
Have fun,
But
bro. Go
but
on, rock out.
I'm not gay. I'm a real woman. Well, the penis says otherwise.
no. And yet, which
Penis
party
says
is it that's literally stating from the
otherwise.
river to the sea, which is just literally talking about genociding
Well, that is
Israel?
completely different topic, but you are correct.
Yes,
Yes.
he is correct
Um,
though. Well,
It's still, it's still
here's
a
the
form of
broad point
racism.
you're making, Chester. Here's the
yeah,
broad point
I
everybody's
was
making.
spiraling
The
into it.
the Democrats forced themselves to be uncool. It's not cool to be a liberal right now in America. I've seen
No,
multiple videos
no.
of these young girls being asked if they'd rather date an illegal immigrant or a liberal, and they don't know what to say. They have no answer
Yeah.
because
Look what you did.
they did this to themselves. Look at who beat them. Look at this guy. Look at
Yeah.
this guy.
Yeah.
That guy beat them because they did this to themselves. They
And
became
they did.
scolds, and that's never cool.
And look how rock and roll he is. I
Yep,
mean, look at it.
I love that. I love that
The
hat
whole
though. That
zeitgeist
hat's
is
sick.
leaning this way. Look at all these freaking, little rats, the Silicon Valley, how quickly they change side. Look at all these musicians and
Hmm.
entertainers of so quickly coming huddling up to the dick of Trump. Like Snoop Dogg. I love you, Snoop. I love you.
Yeah, we do.
Right.
We love it.
And by the way, Carrie Underwood, claps for that. Claps, just claps.
It was a very good performance.
No, I
Very.
mean it was an unfortunate situation where they were having technical difficulties. She's like, "Screw it,
Yeah,
I'll just do it a cappella," and she
we'll just do it.
nailed it. And
We'll
she
just do it.
pissed. She will just do it, and she did. Good
She said,
for
"Fuck
her.
it,
That's
we'll
not
do it
easy,
live."
dude. I've done that shit. I'm
Yeah,
nowhere near the
no, it's
singer she is,
impressive.
but I've done that.
It's
That's hard.
impressive.
It
That's
is
when you know
impressive.
somebody has genuine skill.
And look at
Genuine
how
skill.
freaking bitchy Harris, because she's right behind you. You see her in camera. Harris is just being an absolute whore bitch, dude.
Yeah,
What the hell?
yeah.
What are you hating on her? She's just a singer. She's
She's
just
just singing.
singing.
She's
America
singing a
the
song.
Beautiful, you dumbass.
Singing a beautiful song,
Did it
actually. A
well.
gorgeous song.
Yeah.
Yes. No,
But
that's the problem. They
yeah,
became so hateful,
yeah.
and that's not cool.
No,
You're
it's
not
not
cool when you're
cool.
being hateful.
It's not
You're not
cool.
cool when you're being
The
hateful.
Village People's cool. YMCA's cool.
Village people are cool.
Yeah.
Village people are cool.
That's a different
When
song.
when you have a president up here dancing with a sword, a saber,
It's great.
to
It's great.
YMCA right in front
It's
of his
great.
wife, swinging a
It's great.
saber around.
It's great. But here's another example, right? Here's another example. Um, Finally, in California, a man walked into the room.
Yeah,
It took a while, but
they found one.
they
They
did. They
found one the
they
next
found
day.
one finally. But here's the thing: Trump is always doing things, and sometimes it might come across as a little delusional or repetitive or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Go watch this interview, this one, because this is all you need to see, right?
Right.
Because when this is I'm sure I've mentioned it already, but I'm going to say it again. Trump goes to North Carolina, sympathy with all the people that he is just a big love fest, right? And he will help them. He already is. He already did, even when he wasn't president. Gets on his damn plane, flies across the freaking country, gets off at LAX. Not Trudeau, they're basically the same. Newsom is literally standing like a giddy little girl with moving legs, the little hyper leg movement at the bottom of the frickin' escape ladder coming out of the whatever they call those things. Um, and he as soon as Trump to put one foot on the ground, he leaned forward before stepping. Go watch it. So eager, and went up and took his hand. Oh, Mr. Trump, the cameras are on. To thank God, right? Now, me personally, I would have had if I was Trump, and he's wiser now, so he probably made the right
Mhm.
move. Me personally, I
Yeah,
would have sent down my personal secret service because he knows he can't trust them. By the way,
that's true.
um,
That's very
my
true.
personal secret service and kind of wall him out and just walk past him. That's what I would. I would have snubbed him.
Box him out.
Box him
Box
out.
his ass
Box
out.
his ass out. But Trump, he's wiser. He understands the game, and I'm still young and full of vim and vigor. But
Yes.
nevertheless, that cuck. All right. Then he
Mhm.
goes. He walks around. He talks to the people. He gets information on the ground. Right. And then he goes to this little interview, and in this interview, there are assholes, and there are people, and there are firemen. And of course, the most of them are on Trump's side because they know they can help them, and they're sick of the shit too, right? He sits down in this interview, and really there are two people he's having to deal with. There is a whole bunch of political people here on the left side of the screen sitting down, but there's really two. There's this moron, this black lesbian, and that's the only reason she was elected. By the way, she's a black lesbian. That's it. Listen to her talk. She's a moron, right? And
Yeah.
then an actual
Mm-hmm.
real white guy politician, a real one, old dude, right? Who
Mm-hmm.
Trump knew. And Trump got in his ass the whole damn interview, insulted him right to his face while being polite at the same time. How do you do that? But he did
Practice.
it. And so he put him in his place so much by the end the guy said, "Yes, sir. Thank you." He just told
Which,
you you're a piece of shit, and your response is, "Yes, sir. Thank you."
yes, I am. I
Yes, I
sure
am.
am,
But
sir.
I mean, dude, man walked into the room. And that's all you needed. Because this mumbling bitch was going on. Oh, yeah, yeah, no, we're gonna 18 months. No, 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 it'll be faster than that. And Trump's like, yeah, a week's too long. Okay. Oh, well, wait, we'll get, you come back and check it. Well, I'll get it done. I'll get it done. How quick did she shift? How quick did she go from her rhetoric and her
Yeah.
bullshit about gay, lesbian, California ain't gonna take shit from Donald Trump? He walks in the room, you melt like fucking butter, right? I
Yep.
mean, absolutely, man walks in the room, puts everyone in their place. And all the other people who are desperate for help were so fucking relieved in that room. And he is. He's going to
Well,
hammer these fuckers until they get it done. But that
well, he does
interview,
that to
that's
these
what you
people.
should watch.
He does that to these people. The people who are in positions of authority, who should know better, should be able to do their damn
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
He does that to them, and he does it to anybody. Doesn't matter what spectrum they're on, left, right. He'll go at you if you're an incompetent and you shouldn't be. He
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah. He
tolerate
doesn't
it.
like it.
But then when he's taught, here's why he's so popular. Because when he's talking to normal people, when he goes to North Carolina and he talks to these people who still everything is gone. They still didn't get anything. This many months later, they're still
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
sitting there
No, he's
in
great.
rubble.
Man of the people.
And he
He's
just
good at that.
talks
Yeah.
to them and listens to them, and he doesn't
Yep.
treat them like they're beneath him, even though
No,
by every metric that's ever existed, they are.
they
By
most certainly
everyone.
are. Yeah. But he doesn't think that way. He's
But he
always.
doesn't treat them that way.
Well, keep in mind, I come from that part of the world, and I grew up with Trump on the TV all the time, where the rest of you didn't,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And Trump's always been considered the blue collar billionaire. That
Yep.
moniker's been with him since the '80s, guys.
Yeah, they didn't like him because he fit
No,
in
they
so
hated
well
him,
with normal
and this
people.
is why they can't find any shit on him because his daddy told him, "Don't go into Manhattan." He said, "I'm going to Manhattan, Daddy."
I'm
And
gonna
he
do
went
it.
into Manhattan. He bought the Commodore. I think it was his first purchase, right?
Hmm.
And of course, he re, he everyone said, you can't do that. You can't fix that old piece of shit. Of course, he did. But from day one, they were trying to get this guy, kill this guy, put him in prison. They were doing everything they could to tear at this guy from day one back in the early 80s. They were
Right.
after his ass. Therefore, he's always had to play the game with a clean nose. He's always had to do it. That's why they can't find shit on him, because he
Well, he's
was
also
forced to be honest and play
yes,
by the
he's also
book.
sober. He's
He's
literally
also
sober.
sober. Yeah, that's true.
There's no drug problem you're gonna find on him.
No,
It
he's a
doesn't seem like even
straight
though he
edge.
was a bit of a playboy,
That's
uh,
his weakness, women. But Melania straightened him
women
out.
are his weakness.
You
Oh,
know,
she absolutely did. But
I
I
saw
mean, he'd straighten out anybody. Look at her.
Well,
Like,
I
come on.
saw an interview with Bill O'Reilly the other day,
Mhm.
and Bill O'Reilly and Trump have been, friends. I'm not talking about professional friends, just friends for decades, right?
Right.
I mean, actual friends. They go out drinking. Well, they don't drink, but they go out together, drinking shakes
Eating and
is what
stuff.
they do,
Yeah.
eating and just hanging out, golf and stuff like that. And Bill made a very interesting offhand comment that only a friend would make. Right? It's something you
Mm,
really shouldn't say, but you, as a friend, you don't think of it. You didn't think about it. And he
mhm,
was like, yeah, his other women before Melania, he said, they were just his women.
mm.
Melania, he's changed since Melania came in. He said that
She's his wife.
Melania is his wife, but she's a stabilizing factor on him, and he listens to her. It's just
Mhm.
different, he said, and he wasn't making a
Interesting.
point. It was just an offhand thing he made amongst other comments he was making. But I thought
Right.
that was really interesting because Trump going out and especially him going out and touring with Melania next to him, she's chill, relaxed, happy, laughing with her husband. Dude, the optics, the freaking
Mhm.
optics are intensely awesome.
I bet you I can explain it. She probably listens to him, like genuinely, when
Yeah,
they have conversations, which doesn't seem like it's super often because, the way his life is. But when they are alone, when they do have their moments, I bet you it's more that than anything else. He knows
maybe.
she's intellectually probably superior to him, if we're being honest, because she is an incredibly smart woman. She just happens to be beautiful. Uh, so he can talk to her and she'll listen to him. And because she listens to him and maybe she even understands him, I bet you that's why. So what I meant by these are his women and he has them for a while and that's great, but she's his wife.
Yeah,
She's
Bill
his other
said that
half.
offhand, and
Yes.
he would know, right?
Yes.
And many times in that interview, he was like, "I don't want to get into intimate stuff. That's their personal life." He said that many times.
Mhm.
And fair enough, right? But that just kind of came out on the side, right? And I thought it was an
Mm.
interesting comment. But I'm telling you, having Melania so chill and happy and smiley with her husband, going out and being next to him, and how chill and happy he is with her. I mean, they're clearly a married couple. Whereas you see a
Yeah.
lot of these other setup things, like Bill and Hillary. Did anyone ever see any chemistry there? Ever?
No.
You
No.
know, I'd say Obama and Big Mike certainly had some chemistry. Kamala and whatever her husband's name is, right? But I'm just saying
Doug.
the optics of it is so
Mhm.
good, dude. It's
Yeah.
so
No, I
good,
agree.
and I
I
don't know if
agree.
that
I
was
think
planned or just
I think you can see it
consequential,
as well in
inconsequential.
Barron, how stable their relationship is because Barron just seems he seems powerful. He's only 18 years
Yeah,
old
he's quiet,
and he's got a authoritative presence to him. Every time you
dude.
see
He's
him, even
6'7".
partially because he's like, a
I
giant,
look up to him. I would look up to him.
but even when he just, he's standing there and you can't really tell that he's a giant, there's something about him. And it comes from proper rearing. And that's mostly Melania. I mean, Trump's a good father too, but that's clearly mostly Melania's influence. He's Barron's special. Of Trump's kids, Barron's the special one. And Trump
Mhm.
knows it because he listens to him just like he does his mom.
Yeah, I kind of wonder
Uh,
what Don thinks about that.
well, listen.
Don Jr.
Listen.
Yeah,
Don gets to be rich, all right? He can shut up.
yeah, he can. The other brothers have or and siblings have already fallen in line. Yeah, Don's the favorite, and then come along
Yeah.
Barron.
And then comes
Yeah.
Barron, and
Well,
Barron's just smart. He's smart like his dad. He's sharp. He's got a great
yeah.
intellect. He understands the modern world better than his father, clearly. And the great thing about Trump, for all of his faults, he listens to his son. And it's said over and over and over and over and over again by Trump. It has been said by other people who are around them while they're interacting. We were talking about this earlier, the social media stuff. When
Mhm.
when Trump wants to do something social media, whatever it is, he wants to go viral. He asks Barron what
Yeah.
he should do. He runs
Yeah.
it by
Like I
Barron.
said, yeah, I have a feeling.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure this
I have
was
a
this was
feeling.
this was the youngest of the Trumps.
Yeah, I think so.
Um,
However, well, who's the little cutie? She's real young. I don't know, maybe
oh,
just an
Kai.
adult, 18.
Kai's 1 year. She's
Kylie,
1 year younger than Barron. She's his technically, well, not even technically. She's his niece.
his
Kai is her
niece.
name. K
So
I K K I
Kai, I
K
thought it was
A I.
Kaylee.
Oh, she goes by Kai. I don't know if her name might be
Mm.
Kaylee, but
Well,
she goes by
whatever.
Kai.
She's definitely a cutie, and that's
Yes.
power. We all know
And
this.
she loves her
She
granddad.
loves her grandpa. But
Yeah.
but the thing with it is, I didn't even pay attention to this, of course, because I don't. What's SNS to me? But
Hmm.
she was running this behind the scenes thing for inauguration night, millions
Yep.
and millions and millions of views, and she's basically just her and her sister, cousin, friend. I have no clue.
Whatever.
Just
Right.
kind of walking behind the scenes, looking at the fashions. Everybody's getting ready. Just normal behind the scenes, going to a party video is what it is. But that thing blew up. So these kids around him are helping him enormously, dude. Enormously. And Alan says Karen Bass here looks like a Goomba with AIDS. I can't unsee it now.
Oh yeah.
It's so terrible.
Even the hand position is definitely a Goomba. But
Uh,
he tore her a new one.
he did.
And it was just, you could see it. A man walked into the room.
Mm.
It's that simple. And you might, oh, that is too simple, Chester. No, I don't think so. I think that's all it takes because I hear a
Well,
lot of you guys in talking. I've spoke with especially with the artists, but they're artists. But oh, Chester, you don't understand. Women are so scary these days. It's so scary. It's like, what? Fucking grab your nuts, boy. What are you on about?
yeah,
People are people.
they
That's
are.
that. If someone's being an ass, tell them so. I mean, shit, you guys have no trouble telling me when I'm being an ass.
Well, it's most of the time, so it's
Yeah,
real
that's
easy.
fair. But you know what I mean. I mean, what the hell? A man walked into the room here and
Yeah.
it got it done. I have a feeling they're going to get snaky and try to do things behind the scenes. But Trump is not going to let go of California, dude. He's it's in his jaw. He's a Rottweiler, and it ain't going anywhere. It ain't going
Yeah.
anywhere. So I mean, which is good because if he can fix this shit, we might see California go red again.
Bro, he's talking about abolishing the IRS, and I said, wait a minute. Build
Well,
him 3 Mount Rushmores. He pulls that
please.
off.
Well, dude, you see what he's doing with those 88,000 IRS agents that they hired?
Yeah.
You see what he's doing? He's like, well, we don't need these shitheads. Send them down to the border and they can do the
They can
paperwork.
get they can guard the border.
Yeah, put them down there. They got guns.
Put them on the wall.
Yeah, go get them down there. It's
Oh,
so
No.
awesome.
Use
Johnny.
the chalk to for the agents to scare away the Hispanics and the Asians.
Wow, we saw the videos. There's an awful lot of lesbians. So, and we
Yeah.
know how machismo there is with those Latinos. But
Mhm.
I just it's funny. But there's been so many wins. How many European leaders are just talking shit are already bending the knee?
Mm.
Now he's doing a little bit of theater for sure, especially with the Ukraine war thing, because we know right well he's been in conversation with Putin and Zelensky for months. We know this, right? Not only, if you recall, back in
Hmm.
November, I think it was November, late November, he actually met with Zelensky. And in that video, Zelensky looked like a little boy next to Papa. And Zelensky was like, oh, we very much want to have war. Yo, you're right, Mr. Trump. 100% ready to capitulate instantly. We saw this. We know
Oh,
there's a deal in place. I think they're slow burning it. I think Trump is doing this intentionally. Slow burning it. You notice he just pulled 20,000 troops out of Europe.
yeah.
He's putting the fear guard in the Europeans, and then he's going to say, okay, Putin, shut it down. I'm telling you, that deal is already in place. I feel this in my bones. So, But I mean, good, because the Europeans need a good swift kick in the bollocks, as the British would say.
Especially the Germans, the French, the Belgians, and the Danes.
Oh, the Belgians
Those people are
particularly.
too arrogant.
Personally, what I think we should do is go hang the entire government of Belgium in the street and just give it back to the Netherlands. That's my
I'm for
opinion.
that.
Yeah.
Some street justice is what you're
Just a
saying.
little bit,
That's what
little
you're
bit,
looking
little
for.
bit.
Some street justice.
Hypothetically, YouTube.
Hypothetically, yeah.
Yeah.
He meant hang them from their feet. That's
Yes,
what he meant.
from their petards.
Yeah, up and upside down, not the other way.
Yeah, yeah.
It's fine.
But I don't know. What do you think about that? I really think this is a slow play from Trump, working with Putin and Zelensky to just kind of shake up the Europeans, especially with him pulling 20,000 troops out because they're worried, dude. I'm sure.
I don't know. It could be.
Yeah.
It could be.
Like,
We'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see. I do know that one of the things that needs to happen very soon is that war needs to end.
Oh yeah, no,
Um,
and it will. It will. That'll end
yeah.
quickly. I don't know how the whole shit with Iran, Hamas, and all that'll work out, but I really think that's the majority of his focus is going to be on that because he'll deal with Xi in China. He will. We know he will. I think his focus is going to be in the Middle East and trying to clean that up. And which is, people, it's funny to me with all these confirmations going on. Everyone's focusing on Hegseth. I mean, who gives a shit?
Mm.
Right? But all that focus, all that, hey, oh my God, he drank alcohol, right? I mean, but
Oh,
whatever. But
he has
what
a tattoo on his
he
chest.
has,
Okay.
he's a manly man. I want him. All right. Anyway,
He um
um,
he was a soldier. Yeah, he probably has
I do
tattoos. He's
think
pretty
it's
proud of them.
interesting he has the Maltese cross on his chest, though. I did like that.
That is
But
interesting.
it is
Of
interesting.
all the crosses,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the one.
of all the crosses. But the hospital, Knight's hospital, hospitaler. But
Yeah.
anyway, this is my point. During all that, no one noticed that Marco Rubio was made Secretary of State like what 10 minutes
Yeah.
instantly. It just kind of the news kind of almost skipped it. But this should tell you a lot because most people misunderstand what the Secretary of State does. Now,
Mm.
yes, he is a mobile ambassador, sure, or she, right? Madeleine Albright, to be fair, had some moments, right? But
Mm.
they are a mobile ambassador, sure. But actually, what they are is the Secretary of State. Now, what that means is they're in charge of all those things that are state related, like, regulation, migration, immigration, passports, visas. You know, they're the boss of that, right? And
Yeah.
so, why would Trump choose Rubio? What is it about Rubio that Trump would put him in charge of state? Well, what do we know about Rubio? He's a pretty smart dude. He's an actual real lawyer, unlike the one who blowjobbed her way into that bar. But anyway, he's a smart guy, a real actual lawyer, well spoken, a career politician, which is why he got through so quickly. But what the one thing about Rubio, he fucking hates Muslims.
Mm.
He hates
Doesn't
them.
seem to like him
He
much.
don't like them, right?
Hmm.
Trump chose him intentionally, and it shows you exactly where Trump's thinking is. The Middle East is the problem, and he wants to get it done. That's why he chose Rubio. Think about Blinken. Blinken is an elitist banking Zionist cuck, right?
Yeah.
And look how he acted, exactly like that. That's the reason why they got nothing done because Netanyahu, who was trying to protect his ass, right? And why Trump loves Israel,
yeah.
we know he does, but he called out Netanyahu and called him a little fucker, right? He doesn't like Netanyahu because he lies and he cheats and he lied to Trump. Don't do that. Trump doesn't like it, right? But Rubio already. Once again, the press is not really covering it because they're so caught on Hegseth and Nome and all this other stuff that's going on. Trump yelling at this black lady or whatever Trump's doing. They're not paying attention. What has Rubio already done? He's already moved his because he's the secretary. He's already moved his agency toward if you're a person here on a student visa or any kind of visa, you're not a citizen, and you've attended any of those pro-Palestinian rallies, you're out. He's kicking them out already. He's doing this. No one's talking about it, huh? Frickin'
Mm.
Rubio is going to be is going to be his hammer, and no one saw it coming, dude. It's a frickin' brilliant move. It's brilliant. Because the same thing with Bobby Kennedy. What is Trump doing? He's letting them do what their passion is,
Mm.
right? Doesn't matter if they're Republican or Democrat. Let them do their passion. Bobby Kennedy's passion is one thing: American health.
Yes.
That's his thing. Let him
Which
go,
we need,
right?
desperately need.
Keep in mind, what
Mm.
was a month ago? We lost Richard Simmons, right?
Mm.
Now he kind of got buried in the obituaries there because we lost Darth Vader, and we lost Apollo Creed, and big names, right? But we
Mm.
lost Richard. Now
Mhm.
a lot of you younger people don't really understand Richard. You're like, oh, that gay guy? Yeah, that gay guy. Um, but when I was a kid, Richard Simmons, the gay guy, a very flamboyant gay guy, right? He was on TV all the time promoting health, healthy kids, health in school, physical education, good diet, what have you. He was rabid about good health in America, and we loved him. We loved Richard, right? Beloved, good man who was always fighting for the health and wellness of America. Also, at the same time, similar time, for a shorter period, we had Arnold Schwarzenegger chosen by Reagan to be the health czar or whatever title they gave him. You don't, you eat your greens, lots of meat, don't drink milk. Milk is for babies. Arnold, Mr. Health, representing them. That was his first government appointment, by the way. Went on to be governor.
Mm.
But I'm saying
Yep.
we don't have anybody in America doing that. And look how fat and out of shape and the mortality in America is what? What's the mortality in America right now?
It's outrageous.
It's like 70. What's the
I think
expected age
it's
of
77, I think is the age right now.
right?
77.
So it's one of the lower ones on earth.
It's one, yeah,
Yeah.
it's of the industrialized nations, I
Yeah,
believe
the
it is
First
the lowest.
Nations, yeah. I mean, obviously you
Yeah.
go to Africa, they're still dying at 25. I mean, we don't.
Right,
But I
right.
mean
Yeah,
that's
because our
Africa.
food is
I'm talking about
garbage.
yeah, yeah. So, Bobby is passionate about it. Let him go, dude.
Yeah, we need it to happen. In fact, well, besides when Trump decided decided to start saying he wanted to end the income tax and end the Federal Reserve, or not the Federal Reserve, but the IRS. Before that, I would have said that Bobby's job might be the most important because
Yeah.
the food supply in America
Yeah.
is just poison. It's poison. It's
Yeah,
bad
then
for
let
you.
him go,
Mhm.
dude. Let him
Yeah.
eat, let him chew on it. Because
Yeah.
Bobby's serious about it, and let him do what he wants to do. Who cares he's a
And
Democrat?
here's with Bobby. Yeah, exactly. He's not a Republican. He's not some far right crazy. Blah, blah, blah. He's a Democrat.
Yeah.
He's a lifelong Democrat. He's
Yeah.
always been a Democrat.
Well, his
But
family.
he's a man of integrity and of character because he has a history of 40 years of being so. And he's passionate about this because he
Very.
literally put his entire reputation on the line to fight for it for decades.
Yeah.
All of it. He's
Yeah.
been called everything under the sun for decades to fight for it. So, he wants to get in there and do good.
Yeah.
And again, it's not even about Trump himself. I think Bobby would have did it with anybody if the conversation could have happened, but it didn't happen. Only Trump would talk to him.
Crazy.
Yeah. I
And
mean, and this is the genius of Trump.
yes,
Getting the right people around him. That's what he's good at. Alan says Richard Simmons was gay. Who you gonna say next? Pee Wee Herman? I don't know. Was he? He might
Yeah,
have.
but
He
then
might have
again,
been.
Trump also had Fauci.
Yeah, Trump's the one that brought him in because he was the CDC boss. It's as you would, right? As you would,
or the
uh,
HSA or whatever it was.
or
One of them.
whatever it was. But I mean, it was a pretty standard move. But
Mhm.
Fauci turned out to be the root of the problem. Oddly,
Well, I
no
do
one
like
saw,
how
but no
they
one saw that coming. We didn't know. I mean, you got to give Fauci credit. The balls on that
well,
guy. No, the balls on that
uh,
guy. He
RFK
knows.
knew.
Well,
RFK knew. He was
Well,
calling it out right
maybe.
away.
I'm sure there were others, but that that
Yeah.
that guy Fauci knows this is his doing. He knows he's directly involved, and he get up there in front of it and chastise the entire world. The balls on that little man. I mean,
Unbelievable.
damn,
Unbelievable.
The guy's a
unbelievable.
terrorist.
I just want to know how do you get pardoned for crimes you haven't committed? How does that work?
Yeah, that is weird. I mean, pardon. A lot of people get upset here or there. Me, the president can pardon whoever he wants. I don't care.
Correct.
It's fine. But
It should be a supreme authority of the
right,
president. I
but
agree.
it should be a pardon,
Yes,
meaning
you
you
should have
were
been
convicted
convicted
of
of a
something
crime.
and I'm pardoning you.
Not, hey, guess what? We're just gonna, just in case you ever get convicted, don't worry about it. What?
Yeah, that's
That's how that
nonsense.
works.
That's nonsense.
Not a get out of jail free card. What the
Yeah.
hell? No, yeah, it's
Yeah.
very strange situation over there. Pardoning people for crimes they haven't even been accused, credibly, at least in a court of law, of committing. I don't know how that stands. If they ever get challenged, I don't know how that stands because how do you get pardoned for a crime you haven't been convicted of? I don't
Hmm.
even understand
Well,
this.
around March, I'd say March, April, a lot of cases are going to be coming up, and some of them maybe it'll take summertime to get to the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these executive orders, things he wants to do, he's going to get sued, and he's going to be taken to court for it. That's the process.
Mhm.
Um, and it's going to be very interesting to see how it files into the Supreme Court and how they make decisions. Because keep in mind, Trump's main goal, which a lot of Republicans were upset about, remember this. They wanted to put Republican appointees in. Trump was like, no, 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 I want constitutionalists. And that's
Mm.
what he put in, right?
For the most
So,
part, yeah.
yeah, for the most part. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how they vote in these because this is going to be a lot. They're going to be busy. Supreme Court's about to get
The
busy.
birthright citizenship one's going to be
It's a big one.
huge.
It's a big one.
That's a
Yeah.
big one. Yeah. We'll see. There's no way to know for sure until it happens, I guess, but we will see. It's going to be very interesting because most likely Trump's going to get at least one more pick to the court um, before this 4-year term.
Accidents happen.
That's true. And some things we consider accidents that maybe aren't happen. Uh, but yeah, he's going to get at least one. He might get multiple because some of the conservatives might retire. We'll see. I hope not. I will.
Hmm. Well, the thing with that is, though, one thing Trump's doing, I think, is very interesting. He's putting young people in positions, right? He's putting young people in positions. And I think that's a pretty smart move. I mean, he could just go to all his friends or people his age and put old people in. But no, coming in and saying, no, 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 we need some fresh blood for the future. That's pretty cool, dude. Good on Trump. What do you think, Ezreal?
Oh, I agree. Also, have you heard of what the ATF was caught doing?
Say it again. Oh,
Well,
the
have
ATF
you
where
heard
they
what the
were.
ATF was caught
Yeah,
doing?
he said to get rid of all the DEI stuff, but they just moved her and changed her title. Yeah,
Yeah. What
yeah,
they
yeah.
should do is just it's like, oh, you know what? You're disbanded. Bye bye. You get nothing.
Yeah, no, he's going to deal with it because there's eyes on everything. The great thing about the internet is the autists on the internet are constantly accounting for every little teeny thing, and he has people clearly that want to get at him in that way. So it's going to get dealt with. It's going to get dealt with. It'll happen.
Speaking of the internet, the Davos is acting up. It seems like.
Yeah,
Well,
Discord
he's back,
out
so
for some reason. I don't know what happened there,
that's okay.
but I have returned apparently.
Yeah, it's all right. I saw you drop and I handled it. I
Yeah,
handled it.
it's all handled. It's all good. It's
Yeah.
all well and good.
If anything,
I was a
we need to get rid of
professional.
like 10 departments.
Oh, dude, he needs to do
Probably
it
the
melee.
ATF.
Afuera,
Yeah.
No, he
Afuera.
needs to drop a lot of that, and I think we're starting to see the beginning of it. But the get rid of the Department of Education, get rid of the DEA, get rid of the IRS, get rid of this. I would say we should probably drop 80% of the federal government and consolidate it into something else.
Yeah,
Um, and it's what he needs to do. He needs to clean it up, tighten up, get rid of all this stuff, save money. But that's what Elon and all the other. It's not just Elon. Uh, that's
no,
the
no.
Doge's thing. They're supposed to go in there and figure out how do we clean this up and make things efficient.
Well, they've been reporting. If you look at their Twitter account, they're reporting all sorts of just waste that they've found
Yeah, yeah,
already,
no, of
and they're
course.
just
Mhm.
getting started because they're also still hiring. They're still building, the Doge.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we will see. Hopefully, it materializes. He's got about $1 trillion worth of new investments coming in already. That's good. That's still nowhere
Mhm.
near enough, but it's good. Um, hopefully it materializes into something, because I think everybody can agree, whether you're left or right, the bureaucracy's out of control. It's out of
Yeah,
control. It's
Oh
so
yeah,
big and so
it is.
immobile.
It is.
It's got to be fixed. We don't. I'm not saying we don't need any, but
No,
I
we
mean,
don't need this much.
we need some, but it
Yeah.
just needs. It's inefficient.
yeah,
It's just bloat. It's
Yes.
bureaucracy cannot communicate because there's too many. There's too many chiefs, not enough Indians. It's very
Yeah.
simple, right?
Yeah. Too many
Um,
cooks in the kitchen.
yeah, it's too many cooks in the kitchen. And the thing with it is, we are seeing other buffings going on, right? For instance,
Hmm.
Xi mentioned in his speech that it could be possible that China might be thinking about possibly putting a 75% tariff on America. Now, keep in mind, they already have high tariffs on us anyway, right? But and of course, Trump didn't even bother to respond. And the
Yes.
thing with these people, these leaders, like the Mexican lady, who I don't even know her freaking name, she's a moron. Um, you're going to get smacked, dude. You are going to be the Colombian president who is literally on his knees in 30 minutes saying, "I am so sorry, Mr. President. I did not mean to. Here, take my presidential plane." I mean,
Right.
that's you. That's you in
Yeah.
the future. This is coming. That's coming. The Don is on you. I love it, dude. I love it. Everyone's like
Mm.
he's acting like a bully. He's being like a mafia thug. Like, thank God, finally, finally.
yeah.
Well,
Because look, I mean, let's face it, China walked all over Canada because Trudeau is a pussy.
yeah, no. China's walking all over anybody that'll let him, right? And with the fact that we got this big, strong guy, strong man, because that's what Trump is, and he's willing to go out there and smash and bang heads with you. I think it's wonderful. We not only is it going to wake the world up, we already see it happening. It's effective because they're all a bunch of pussies, dude. I
Yeah.
mean, maybe outside of maybe
Yeah,
Putin or the mullahs in Iran, I don't think they're pussies, right? Or a Moody over in India. There's
yeah,
some of them who are not pushovers. But frickin' Trudeau, European leadership outside of East Europe, Putin certainly ain't no pussy, that's for sure. But that's probably why Trump likes him. You can see Trump likes Putin. He
Yeah.
likes
They
him.
get along.
Yeah, he does. He's going to treat him the way he needs to be treated because he's the American president. But he respects Putin because he's a strong man. He says what he says and he does what he says he's going to do. I mean, yeah, that's why the Russians love him.
Yep. They do.
They
They do
do.
seem to like him quite a bit.
His approval ratings are over 60% constantly. That's very high, you
mm-hmm.
know.
It's quite
Yeah.
impressive.
Well, don't forget, if you don't like him, you tend to disappear or fall out a
No, that's
window.
not even true. That used to be true. It's not true. Putin doesn't
Mm.
disappear anybody. People get directly arrested in public for, like, say, being gay, which maybe is a bit much. But no, they don't disappear them. They just put them through the system. I mean, we just
Mm.
said the other day, it was a few weeks ago, there was big raid on a gay bar, and they like arrested like 3, 4 dozen homosexuals and put them in jail. So you can say, well, that's a bit much. Maybe we can let the gays be gay, which I would agree. But it isn't in secret like it used to be. It's not like modern day China. It's right out in the open, and the people still love him. Uh, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It is
Maybe
what
we
it
should also leave
is.
NATO as well.
What was that?
I mean, let's face it. Why do we need NATO? I said, why do we need to remain in NATO? It's like, oh, Russia. Well, we have to. It's like, it seems like Russia mostly wants Europe and Alaska. But
What?
but let's face it. I said it's like, why should we remain in NATO? Because what are we doing besides, make it so that they don't have to spend as much money
Yeah,
defending
I
themselves?
get that argument. But do keep in mind, we created NATO. It's ours. Maybe we should think about it the opposite way. Kick them the fuck out.
No,
Or make
that's
them pay
another
more.
thing. We don't need to kick them out. We just need to leave. It's
Well,
the
no,
same
no,
thing.
no, but no. We made that. That's our shit. Hey, yeah, it's like you saying
Fine.
I built the football team, but you guys take it. No, that's our football. You get out. You know. But of course, people misunderstand the whole thing in regards to NATO. The thing with, like, say, Greenland, it's all about controlling waterways and trying to secure the future of America. He's literally thinking about our future, guys. Right?
Yes,
I mean, the same
that's the
thing with
point of it.
Canada,
Yeah.
Panama. He's thinking about our future
He
because a lot of
doesn't want
people.
China to control it,
Yeah, well, he
or
wants
Russia.
America to have control of it. But it's like a lot
Mhm.
of people say, well, yeah, but in Nicaragua they're building a new channel and it's probably going to become the main one in the future. Okay. Then the Panama Canal becomes the American Navy's pass. Oh,
Right.
I'm fine with that. I have no problem with that whatsoever.
Hmm.
Right? Um,
If it has enough water.
it does. It does. It just needs management because the corruption in Panama is out of control. Right?
Hmm.
Which is why the Chinese were able to get in. Now, a lot of people say that's technically Hong Kong. You clearly don't know how China works. Okay. But anyway, let's see what else we got here. Let's see what else we got. Oh, we have non-Trumpy news. Hmm.
Finally, some non-Trumpy news, huh?
Hmm. Go ahead.
We found it. Oh wait, the stream wasn't open ever since Discord crashed. Give me a second. Here we go. Captain America: Brave New World box office estimates much less than Quantumania. That's
Woof.
not good. With as
Woof.
much as they spent on that movie, that's not
Yeah,
good.
and Quantumanium bombed hard. And to be fair,
Mhm.
what's this lady's name? I can't. And Jilly, something Jilly's in my head.
I can't remember.
That lady, whoever the moron was that chopped her hair off for this role, you need to be slapped because she just looks like an old lady now. Because she
Yeah.
is an old lady, but with the long hair, she still had a little bit of sexy going on. But you took it away. What's wrong with you?
Right.
But whatever. The problem with Anthony Mackie, a lot of people are like, oh, well, they making him yell at white people. True. It's all about the agenda, the message. You're right. But really, as with many of these woke nonsense, the problem starts much earlier than that. Anthony Mackie, he's not a bad actor. He's
No, he's a
just
good dude.
boring.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
he's not interesting. It's
He's
just is what it
boring.
is.
Everything he
Yeah.
does is boring. I mean, he's passable, but it's
He's perfectly
boring.
fine as a secondary character.
Yeah,
He's not a
as a
leading.
backup, as say
He's
Falcon.
not a he's not a Denzel. He's not a Will Smith in his
Nah,
prime.
he ain't.
He's not a
He's
leading
not a
man.
Chris Evans.
He's just not a leading man. And that's just the way it is. Like
It is
some
what it
people are,
is.
some people
He's
aren't.
just boring. It's like
Yeah.
Zendaya. She's
Oh,
passable,
yeah.
but she's
Yeah.
boring. And
Charismaless.
but to give her a little bit of props though. She knows that if she has any wherewithal, and seeing as she doesn't make noise, she probably does, right? She knows she's not the greatest actress, but she can do it, and she's right. She also knows that she was chosen because she's unattractive. That's why she
Mm,
was chosen, because she's unattractive. She knows this, right? Whether she wants to admit it to herself or not, I don't know. But that's why
mm.
she was chosen, right? And she's boring as shit, just like Mackie is. But the thing is, she shuts her mouth and she just takes the opportunities, put the money in the bank, and keeps waddling forward with her little teeny boyfriend.
And she's well, fiance. And she seems to be you know, relatively normal
Yeah. So I
comparatively,
mean,
like for
good on
Hollywood.
her. Good on her.
Yeah,
Whereas
she's got a
Anthony,
long-term boyfriend. They've been together for years. I think I'm pretty sure they're getting married or they got
yeah, I
married.
heard they were good.
Uh,
They're engaged,
yeah, and
which cool,
that's
great, good for them.
pretty good,
Congratulations, guys.
especially for young people in Hollywood. They're usually whores, both ways, man
Right.
or woman.
I mean, because that's the
So,
problem, right? And this is off topic, but the reason why you see so many celebrities end up marrying celebrities is because of the DiCaprio factor, right?
yes,
I mean,
yeah,
this is the problem. How do you find someone who will love you for you? Someone who's on your ground, your equal ground, right?
someone
And
who's an equal.
right.
Yeah.
And DiCaprio is kind of given up on it because he hates Hollywood. We know what the Diddy people did to him, right?
Hmm.
And he makes his money, does his thing, takes his fame moments and his red carpet shots, and he just he gets a girl around 18 to 20, keeps her till 25, throws her out, gets a new one, because he's not in that mode. He's not going to find anyone who loves him for him.
No,
No, just
no.
got to be gold diggers. So well, fuck it, right?
Might as
I
well.
mean, but I mean that's why so many of the celebrities end up marrying each other is that factor, and it's always been true. But anyway, back to Mackie. He just, you start out with a really boring actor, and then you throw all of the identity politics on top of it. It's dead in the water,
Mhm.
dude. But then again, Marvel's dead in the water, Star Wars is dead in the water, Disney itself, BioWare,
Mhm.
Bungie,
Ubisoft.
Ubi-
Ubisoft, just et cetera, et cetera. So many of these companies are just freaking crashed and burned, and they didn't take they didn't take their foot off the gas either, dude.
They didn't
They
learn their
didn't.
lesson.
They didn't. They just
Mhm.
As
kept pushing and went right into that damn wall, dude.
as my mother once
Oh, have you?
famously said, if you won't listen, you've got to feel.
Yeah,
And we've been telling them to stop. Stop it. Stop it. We
they
don't
don't
want you to
listen.
do this. Stop.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, now it's time for feelings.
Just
Hope
more
it
money
hope
lost.
Mhm.
More money lost. And
uh,
here's the kicker with it: the Red Hulk, which is one thing that might pull a bunch of people in. He's only in the movie 5 minutes.
of course he is.
Five
That's
minutes.
all.
That's
Of
it.
course he
Yeah,
is.
that's it. And
Oh,
that's
yeah,
assuming that that five
another reason the
minutes
movie.
is in one shot, and more than likely, it's probably spread out throughout the whole movie. So it's very little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't forget the other two problems the movie has going for it. One, the TV show that spun it off did not do well.
Hmm.
Which
Two,
one? Which one?
maybe one Falcon and Winter Soldier,
Yeah.
It
he would have
wasn't.
not cared for it.
You think?
Yeah. Two, everyone knows what the two big movies that has lots of reshoots. I mean, look at the New Mutants movie, how much that
Hmm.
sucked.
Hmm.
It had its own charm, though. Anyway,
Yeah,
go
but
ahead.
like I said, when you have a movie with how many reshots do they have, that tend to be a red flag that's gonna suck.
Oh yeah, no, this it's a typical it's typical Disney bullshit. No, we know. But I'm just saying that the problem with these movies starts before the ideology. For instance, the Oscars are, rebuffing Trump and responding to Trump, right? Which keep in mind the Oscars is all actors; they vote for themselves. It's a self masturbatory ceremony, is what it is. All right. But they came out, and this year was a
Mhm.
13, 17 nominations for one movie no one's ever heard of. And of course, it's this little movie about this Mexican cartel guy who decides to go through a sex change and doesn't care about his family and his kids, and just horrible, right? But if it was done very dramatic and very well, it could be an interesting story, right? But it's not. It's a musical, and it's a bad musical. But yet they nominate the hell out of it, not
I
because they want to push the ideology and say, fuck you, Trump. That's what it is. And it's like, you realize we already don't care about you. You're not helping, right? You're not going to increase your
Mhm.
viewership with that kind of shit. You're just going to lose more viewers. I mean, I can't remember the last time I watched an Oscars. I used to watch it religiously, right? But
Oh
hey,
yeah. It's
yeah,
the last time I watched it was just to watch Will Smith slap the shit.
yeah.
Chris
I haven't
Rock.
watched it in,
Well,
I
in
don't know,
fairness, I did
more
watch
than a
a little
decade.
bit of the last year because they were on their apology tour, so they were actually giving people who earned them Oscars instead of political statements. I think it was last year, maybe it was the year before, whatever. Where you had Brendan Fraser win one and a bunch of other people who actually deserved it won
Right,
one. It was
right.
feel good. I watched some of that, but other than that, no, I haven't. I used to. I used to. There, because remember there was a time when I really wanted to be an actor and a director. I wanted to do all of that.
Right.
So I used to watch all of it. I used to study actors and watch movies with a critical eye to try and study the way these actors process and stuff. And so I used to be really big into that whole deal. And it just became such a just a circle jerk. Just they're just stroking each other off all the time, and it's just so ugh,
Yeah,
just
no,
ugh.
it's ridiculous. But we see this kind of nonsense, and the unfortunate thing is the people underneath that make all the stuff happen. Like, look at that beautiful special effects going on in the background here. Wasted, because of jackasses, right? I
The
mean,
gassery.
it's ridiculous. My favorite game, you guys know, I love The Sims, right? To be
Hmm.
fair, I think Sims 3 was a much better game. Sims 4 just looks better, and the
Mm,
building is better in some ways.
mm,
But look what happened with Maxis, right? Now, sure, they're owned by EA, and EA is going to they're absolute monsters. They're going to try to suck every penny they can out of you, and the Sims is a perfect example of EA's abuse, right? But the people at Maxis, the 25th anniversary of Sims is coming up here in February 4th, I think, in the beginning of February. And like I said, I've been playing Sims since the beginning, and over time, I've seen the Sims change, right? In the beginning, it was literally just a life simulator. You could build houses, which is what I love the best. I love building properties. It's what I mainly do, right? And then you could do all kind of jobs and sports and all kind of stuff. And the simple fact of the matter, if you look at it from the outside, so it's kind of cartoony and gay. You're right. Um, the algorithm in The Sims is freaking genius, dude. It's
mm,
genius. It's, I would argue, one of the best algorithms on Earth. Yeah, I said it, and I mean it,
mm,
right? It's insane. Little things. Like, for instance, I'll give you an example of how badass that algorithm is. And keep in mind, the next generation of these games, AI is going to be working in time, live, whilst you're playing. That, wow, I don't even know, dude. But let me give you an example. Let's say you take and you do like a little experiment run, right? And you have a parents and you got a couple of kids, right? And the kids are the same age. Let's say just produce twins. You can cheat all that in the game, and you take and you focus all your love and energy on one of the kids. The other kid you do shit jack all for, and you're even mean to them, right?
mm,
Now the algorithm is such that as they age up and become teenagers, maybe even adults, the one you gave all the love and attention to is going to get all kind of buffs, all kind of bonuses, all kind of advantages. The one that you treated badly is going to have all kind of negative modlets, moodlets, and all kind of stuff, and they're going to be a pretty shitty character to play, right?
right.
The algorithm understands that. That's impressive if you think about it. With all the layering of everything you can do in the game, right? But the point I'm getting to is the dudes who do that are pretty impressive. They're real computer guys, real devs, right? But what's sitting above them? A bunch of jackasses that act like it's a game for 2-year-olds. They gay everything up. It's all about the gay. Everything is gayed to hell in Sims
Mm,
4 currently. Didn't used to be that way. And they have all this nonsense and ridiculous stuff sitting on the top of it, right? But yet underneath you have this beautiful algorithm,
yeah.
right? From people who do the job every day. This is what irritates the hell out of me because, we get mad at like, fuck Quantumanium. Fuck those assholes. Even though we like the guy on the left here and the special effects are just stunning, right? All
Mm,
those people, all their hard work, all their effort just pissed away. Pissed away. Doesn't that piss you off?
gone, wasted, wasted
Yep.
effort. It's annoying because it's the one thing in all this, as these movies have turned to shit. The one thing that's stayed true or relatively true is that all of the groundwork has gotten better. Cinematography in a lot of these films is very good.
Getting good,
The
real good.
audio is
Yeah,
very
it
good.
looks nice.
This,
Yeah,
the scores are very good. Even the lighting, all these things are really good. The costuming, look at that. Those costumes look great.
they do.
All that's great.
Yeah.
All that's great.
All
But
that
then
hard work. Yeah.
the stuff that matters is shit.
Yeah.
It's just garbage. It's not fun.
Just a
It's not engaging. It's
small,
not uplifting. It's not in
yeah,
any
no,
way what a hero story
no,
should
no.
be.
Because of a
It's just
little
miserable.
cadre of assholes,
Yeah,
right? And a
yeah,
perfect example of that I mentioned last week, Red One,
yep,
right? It's
yep.
just a little Christmas movie, but it brings a tear to your eye. It's good, classic, good old classic storytelling. It's feel good. It's a rated G movie, and I
I,
loved it. Loved it, dude.
me too. I really liked it.
Yeah.
It's really good.
It's a good movie, and
I
what do you
watched it
have?
alone.
Everybody was on board. You can see the passion with everyone working on the project, and all those people that did all that CG, all the set designers, costume designers, the entire army that makes a movie, they all were rewarded for their effort. But yet the recently, and even though they spend insane amount of money, we see them not be rewarded for their hard work. And you're right, everything is leveling up, and that's great. But you get a small cadre of assholes who want to put their politic on top of a thing and ruin it all. It's so irritating, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. It's it's very, very, very annoying. It's completely unnecessary. Nobody's asking for it. We really just the worst part is, especially with Marvel, is for 10 years or so, they were killing it. They were pretty much giving us what we
Killing
want. It
it.
wasn't
From the
perfect.
Paramount years on, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but it might not have been perfect, but it was a lot better than it's been. And the point is they know how to do it. And they're just choosing to lean a direction that's driving the audience away because you can't as the Lord Jesus Christ says, you cannot serve two masters. And they're
Mhm.
trying to. And it's not going to work. It never works. You
Yeah.
have to pick, is quality your master or is politics your master? Ideology your master?
Yeah.
And that's why it's failing. That's why it's not working. You can have all of those things. You can have it, your moral messaging be that leftism is great and communism yay, but the quality has to come first. It must come first. I was talking with somebody earlier about Star Trek and how I was raised on Star Trek, and in Star
Sure.
Trek, there's always this hint, this creeping totalitarianism as a is a problem throughout the whole, especially the Next Generation, and definitely Deep Space Nine. The whole series is
Yeah.
that is a theme, the
It's pushing
creeping of
against it.
totalitarianism.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're trying to find ways to push against it, embrace it a little bit here, pull back against it. Like they're struggling with it. And for me, watching something like the Patriot Act get passed at 16 years old or whatever, I think I was 16 when that happened. It blows my mind that we were able to get there as a country, not 10 years after Star Trek, right? After Star
Yeah.
Trek as its big peak.
Yeah.
And this is my point is it's because we lost that sense of quality, that sense of excellence. And when you lose that sense of excellence, it's very, very easy to get seduced by ideology.
Yeah.
When excellence is your ideology, this is why I say the motto, truth before face. It's so important. Truth before face is so important. It's the Western ideal. The reason that's so important is because the moment you let that go, ideology comes in. And as much as we like to think we are, we're not God. We're not gods. Our brains suck. Our ideologies all suck. There's not a good one. There's just less sucky ones, but there's not a good one. And because of that, maybe we shouldn't rely on it. Maybe our goal should be to make the world as excellent as possible for the most amount of people as possible.
Wouldn't that
Maybe
be
that should
great?
just be our
Wouldn't
simple
that be
goal.
great? Wouldn't that
Yeah,
be great? Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
very
eh,
frustrating.
it is frustrating.
Very, very, very frustrating.
But maybe there's some light, maybe enough exposure from the absolute thuggery of Donald Trump. We'll see some improvement. We'll see. But I mean, we're gonna here. Let's just do this. Since we're talking about stupidity, let's go
Oh
over
no,
here and take a look
more
at
stupidity.
the box office as we always do, right?
Let's look at more
Um,
stupidity. Why not? Let's
yeah,
be
let's look
miserable.
at more. But let me go find. I'm looking for a particular movie here that came out from Paramount. Um, just came out. Maybe it didn't even make register. Maybe. Um, yeah, I guess it didn't even register. I can't remember. It's like Good Guy or something like that. It's about some guy, some British guy who was part of some boy band back in the 90s that none of us even know his name. And they decided to make a movie about a biopic about him. Okay, fine. And they spent ridiculous amounts of money because he's always said, "Well, I've never felt comfortable in my own skin." Oh, another whining rich person. So the whole movie, he's a monkey,
Mhm.
right? And of course, that costs a lot of money to CG the entire movie that way. They spent a lot of money. It bombed insanely because everyone's like, "Who? What?" It's just more stupidity, and I don't know why. Why is it
Oh, I
that
think
Paramount is always doing that? Yeah, let me go. Let me find this here.
I can't remember. I can't remember what the name of the movie is either, but I
oh,
know
I
what you're
think
talking about.
yeah, I think I know
Like, why did this get made? What was the point of this
what you're talking
film?
about.
List of Paramount films.
Is he considered a foreign? Is
Yeah,
that
hold on
why
a
it got
second. Hold
made
on a
for the
second. Hold on a
foreigns?
second. No, it was some British boy band that Americans had never heard of it. Let's see. It's going to be late to 2024, early 2025. Let's see. September 5? No, that's not. That's about that's about that. Better Man. Here it is. Better Man. Yeah, this one.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So this right here, right? Did you see it? Of course you didn't. No one, everyone, anybody who saw it was like Robbie Williams, right? This guy, right? Now,
Yep.
we Americans in Europe, they were pretty popular for a bit, right? But in
Mhm.
America, they were nothing. We never even heard of them. I didn't even know the name of the damn group he was with. Robbie Williams, chimpanzee,
Put your thing
whatever.
back on.
I
That
have
might
no
say it.
clue what the name it is, but whatever. They put this movie out. So let me go over here and find it on Box Office Mojo here. Let's see here. Better Man.
Better
So it's just some
Man.
gay dude. I'm not comfortable in my skin kind of nonsense.
Better
Just,
Man.
little shits.
Oh my
So
gosh. Oh
now
my.
Paramount spent stupid amount of money on this because it's all, he CG'd the whole movie. He's a chimpanzee, right?
Yep.
17 million worldwide. So we'll say that they made $8 million, $9 million,
Why?
right? They
Why is
spent
he a chimpanzee? I don't.
because
What?
he said, "I've never felt comfortable in my own skin. I've always felt this way." I don't care, rich boy. I
Why a
don't
chimpanzee?
care. No
Just a
one
chimp, though. Why?
cares. But
Why are
it's
we doing? What?
why are we
Why?
doing it? What are you doing,
What
Paramount?
is
Now,
happening?
if they spent a couple million on it and put out a movie and kind of maybe did some illustration with him thinking how he feels,
Yeah.
it would have made some money and you'd been good. But they
Yeah.
spent tens of millions of dollars on this shit.
Yeah.
And who greenlighted this? Who over at Paramount? Because Paramount are always the ones that are screwing up. Paramount's always screwing up, right? Someone
Yeah.
needs to buy that and get that shit straight. But who said, "Oh, this will be a great idea. It'll make millions in America." We've never even heard of the dude. We have no clue who he is. And any of the Americans in the 90s who might have been auteurs and cared about frickin' European boy bands certainly don't know who he is now, 30 years later. Jesus. I'm just talking about the brain rot and the thinking. This got greenlit. This got put into frickin' production. This got canned. I mean, goodness gracious, dude. I don't know what to tell you. Um, anyway.
That's pretty much all you can say about it because it's
That's the gay.
Yeah,
preposterous.
but it's just what the hell? Where are the bosses that are supposed to be in charge?
Somebody is laundering money. There's no other way to look at it. Like that's got to be what's happening.
Maybe, maybe, but I
Oof,
just
that
couldn't believe it.
Mufasa movie. Look at that.
Just as an example, what do you say?
That Mufasa movie. Look at that. That's not enough
Yeah,
money.
that's lost money. Yeah,
Nobody needed that movie, especially
and
since I watched somebody review it, and it was Drinker actually,
yeah,
and he's just like, "Why was this made? Like this was stupid.
well,
It
they
was
were trying to
bad.
cash in. They were trying to cash
It's
in.
poorly written, even. Like it's none of it makes sense to the lore of what we know about Lion King. Like it's just I don't
Yeah.
know. It's one of those
Well,
weird things where that's exactly what they were trying to do, but it's stupid. Bad
Yeah.
idea.
Well, they had some James Earl Jones cuttings on the floor, like, but this is gold, we should use it. I'm sure. But anyway, let's take a look at the new stuff as we usually do. Flight Risk. Ever heard of it? It looks like it's a Batista
Nope.
movie. So what does it say? A pilot transports an air marshal accompanying a fugitive to trial. As they cross the Alaskan wilderness, tension soars and trust is tested, as not everyone on board is who they seem. Duh, duh, duh. Action in an airplane movie. All right. Yeah, do action, put them in a
Mm,
box. It works. But this didn't. How many theaters were we in here? Ooh, a lot. Ugh. You mean Batista all by himself can't draw anything? No.
No, he's done. His
Yeah.
career's over.
And it's unfortunate because he's got a little bit of acting chops. He's got some chops, dude.
He's trying to. He's
He
trying
is.
to, but
But he's not
it's
he can't carry anything by himself.
no, no. He's a great second or third, but he
he,
can't be his own.
yeah,
Yeah.
he has to do a specific type of role,
Yeah, and he needs to be
just like Gal
amongst the
Gadot.
cast. Gal Gadot. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. You're right. Unlike
Well, she
Dwayne
can like carry a
Johnson,
movie by herself.
who can carry a movie by himself, can act. Actually, the Red One is the best acting I've ever seen him do. It's genuine.
It's phenomenal. It's
It's
so
like,
good.
whoa, that's Dwayne. What happened?
I genuinely cannot oversell how good that movie
Yeah,
is because it doesn't
it's
deserve to
killer,
be.
dude.
It shouldn't be, but it really is. And it one of the things it does very well, besides the two simultaneous narratives that are basically the same narrative, just told from different perspectives, uh, is even when it comes to like lore stuff, like folklore stuff, the
Yeah,
way it integrates it is very good. It's
Mhm.
very
it's
smart.
great. It's great.
Yeah,
I mean, and of course, the simple fact that Chris Evans wants the ball Gal Gadot the whole time is great,
yeah,
even though she's not even in the movie. You don't even see an image of her, but
yeah. She's playing
he
Wonder
gives you
Woman.
an image of what he wants, though. Yeah,
She's like,
Lucy
that's not how it
Luminich.
works.
not how it works. Well, what was that, Ethereal?
Isn't Lucy Liu in it?
Yeah, she's fine.
Yeah,
I mean, if
yeah. She
Lucy
plays
has a good
North Carolina.
director and a good script, she's fine. Yeah,
Yes,
I
she's a
like
good
Lucy.
actress when she's
Hmm.
controlled
Yeah,
correctly.
yeah. She can't. Most actors can't do it on their own. You got a few who can carry a movie, like a Russell Crowe, Anthony Hopkins, et cetera, et cetera. Willem Dafoe. But most actors, their performance is completely dependent upon the director. Nick Cage, unfortunately, is one of those. Right?
Yes,
If Nick's got a good director, banging. Not a good
you're gonna
director,
get magic.
money grab.
Yeah, yeah. He's just getting paid.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. No. Again, don't watch any of this garbage. Watch Red One. Just fine. It's on streaming. Watch it. It'll surprise you with how much heart it has because it's a rock movie.
Yeah. But
You're not expecting much,
it's
but
excellent
there's
though.
so much. That main storyline, I'm not going to spoil it, but the main
It's just
storyline
good.
between The Rock and Santa is so well. It's one of the best Christmas storylines that I've ever seen in a movie. It's
Yeah.
so well done
It's pure.
because
It's
it's
wholesome.
pure. It speaks to so much more than just what they're talking about. It speaks to the very
Yeah.
spirit of the holiday, the very spirit of Jesus Christ himself. Like it's so good. And I don't think they necessarily meant it that way, but the reason Christmas endures is what the Christians turned it into. And then you have Santa and all this other stuff, but the very essence of I can't say it without spoiling it. The very
Yeah. Well,
essence of
no,
what Christmas
I'll
is
put it let's
for.
put it like this.
Yeah.
Yule is a thing that's been around forever. Of course, there's little
Yes.
elements of Saturnalia, but people overplay that. They overhype it.
Mhm.
It's mainly
Mhm.
Yule, and Yule, of course, is Scandinavian tradition about not dying in the winter. Yeah.
Right. Just don't die.
Basically, just don't die. But what the Christians did, because most people don't care about the nativity or any of those kind of things. There's very little
Right.
Christian or Christ in Christmas.
Right.
However, there is actually, because what the
Correct.
Christians added to it, the Protestants in particular, they added charity,
That's right.
yeah, and
And they added
goodwill
compassion.
and
Yeah,
loving your
goodwill to
fellow
men.
man,
Yes.
right?
And that's
Christmas
the
caroling,
narrative.
music, all that kind of stuff.
It's just so well done because the Rock's character, obviously it's fantastical and his characters are fantastical, but his motivations make complete sense. Everybody's been in a situation like that where you're just burnt out.
Yeah,
You
you're
just
burnt
simply
out,
burn
you're
out.
jaded, yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah,
and it's
don't
so well done.
stop
Just go
telling them
watch it.
stuff. Just go watch
I
it.
don't wanna spoil it. Go watch it.
It's a great
It's
movie.
going to
Yeah,
surprise you, especially the little speech from Santa. You'll know which one I mean when you hear it.
yeah, yeah,
It's beautiful.
yeah.
It's genuinely beautiful.
J.K. Simmons
It
kills it,
brought a
dude.
tear to my eye,
It
and I'm a
did.
crotchety
It
old bastard.
did.
I said,
It
"Oh,
did.
that's it. They get
Yeah,
it.
that's
They get
it.
it."
They get it.
Mm.
Yeah, that's nice. Anyway, what else we got here? We got presents, and it's too bad about Batista that he turned out to be such a cuck. It really is.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know
But
what that's about. I don't know what that's about.
yeah, idiot. All right. Anyway, let's go see presents. Didn't do very well. Whatever it
Did
is,
we have
a
to?
B horror movie. I'm looking at all the new stuff. All right. A family becomes convinced they are not alone after moving into their new home in the suburbs. Chad, I'm giving you homework. Chat. I want you to go, and I want someone to go and do an accounting of the entire history of cinema and find how many stories go to a house and there's something else there. I do believe you'll find there are thousands.
Thousands. I've been in them, in
Yeah.
fact.
Uh-huh.
But
That
no,
was
I'm
like one of
just
the most
saying,
common
how
things.
many damn movies have this, this premise, dude? Jesus,
Yeah.
look at it.
Yeah.
Look at it.
Poltergeist.
Yeah, dude, that's a good example. I'm talking about just hundreds every
Garbage.
year of garbage B movies. A family
Yeah.
becomes convinced they're not alone after moving into their new home in the suburbs. Oh, it's in the
Good.
suburbs, not in the countryside. Ha ha ha! You flipped it up.
Ooh, twisty. Twisty,
Twisted,
twisty.
amazing. Yeah, it's just another dumb B horror movie. Wolfman actually sucks, and of course, it's not going to make any money because you don't even show the transformation. The whole movie is literally the transformation, and they don't give it to you. They spend 2 hours moving slowly,
Ooh, look at
creeping.
Nosferatu,
The
though.
transformation
I
is
wonder how much they
coming.
spent on that. It's at 93 mil. Click on Nosferatu real quick.
Okay,
Well, I hear good things about that one.
So we're at
$80 million.
166. So yeah, 80 mil. Cut
Yeah,
that
he
in half.
usually spends $5 to $10 million on his movies, right?
Right. He doesn't spend a lot. It's
Yeah.
not usually. So
Let's
they're
go check it
probably
out.
doing all right. I've heard it's fantastic. I really have. It's just not for me. It's not my type of movie.
Well, I
But
can't. I have to wait till it comes out. Nosferatu by 2024, I guess. 2024 budget.
budget.
Yeah, Eggers doesn't spend a
Budget.
lot of money. He's really good with money, they say.
Budget. They might not know it yet. They may not have released it.
They're gonna have an idea though. Let's
Yeah.
see. Worldwide. Yeah. Metrics. Openings. What is
They might
this?
have kept it close to the chest here.
Yeah, that's the money made. I don't see it. Don't see it. All right, let me go over. I doubt IMDb has it.
Oh, here we go. Wait. It's right there. The budget for it is estimated to be about 50 mil. So they may, if that's
50.
true,
So they upped the game big
yeah,
time. Wow.
especially for him because usually his movies lose a little bit of money. So this is potentially his biggest success, which is good because we want more movies from him. He's
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Okay. So, well, anyway, it's made 80 million. So they're, we got 50 million plus probably, double it. So they haven't broken even yet. But once it gets into Blu-ray and stuff like that, this movie will make money, minimally
And it's
anyway.
still it's January. People don't go to the movies. It's because
That's
it's
true.
cold.
That's true.
People don't leave their
But
house.
that is true. And I know this as a teacher. I get the smallest classes I get during the winter time.
Yes, yes.
But
And you're not even in a cold climate. Imagine when it's
right.
oh yes, the last week it was negative 17.
Oh, that's cold.
So
That's a little bit cold.
yeah,
Yeah. A little
that's
bit
when it's
cold.
cold. That's when even I'll
Yeah.
be like, "Oh, now we're cold. Now we're in the
I
cold."
think the coldest I've ever been was around about negative 40.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we get that
It's
sometimes here.
serious. Yeah. It's
Negative 48.
occasionally. It's not normal. No, where I live,
That's the type of cold you got no business being out in unless it's an emergency.
right. But
Stay indoors and be
for my
warm.
home during winter, -5 to -20 is pretty normal.
Yeah.
But occasionally get those -40s, boy. I
Yeah,
ain't
we do.
playing. I ain't playing around.
Question.
Answer.
Uh, Fahrenheit or Celsius because you're in Japan.
I'm using Fahrenheit. I
Yeah.
can multitask.
He can do them both.
Yeah.
He's a man of many talents, this
hmm
one. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm multi. Of course, when I speak to you guys, I'm always using Fahrenheit, not Celsius.
Well, it is the correct one to use. Let's be honest.
Well, I mean, it upsets people like Booster, but
I know it does.
I do
I know it
apologize.
does.
But the Imperial is literally based upon the breadth of reality, literally.
Correct.
Whereas the metric system, if you follow it back, from where the French got it from, it does have some aspects of that, but it's a
Yes.
two-dimensional version of it, right?
Yeah.
Imperial is superior to metric. It just is if you're doing mathematics. Now, if you're doing
Yes.
business and even like say basic construction or something, metric is easier. So use it.
It is.
I mean,
Yes. We
it's
don't much
just
in
easier.
America though. But one of the things we do in America, excuse me, I know this for a fact, because we get appliances and other things from overseas, they'll use metric sized bolts and what
Sure.
have you.
Of course.
So you'll need to have, if you're a mechanic or you're a
You got to have
technician, you're
both.
going to need
You
to
got to
have
have
a
both.
metric and a standard. We call it standard metric
Yeah.
and standard set. Um, yeah, because there are times when metric is better, but most of the time imperial is superior.
Yeah, no. So Imperial is always superior, but
Yeah,
metric is just easier because it's 10
right.
based. And in people, think about it when you were a kid and you were studying your multiplication tables, right? Yeah,
Hmm.
we all did it, right? Everybody, the times 10 ones were the easy ones, and everyone could breathe through it, right? You're always the
Yeah.
happy kid in class when the teacher came to you and said, "Do your tens to 100." You're like, "Yeah, oh God, thank God," right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's easier. So when you're using, especially for money, 10 based, easy. And even honestly, like construction, if you're building a house and everything's based on 10, it's easy, dude. It's a lot easier than 7/16.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, no one needs seven. No one needs 7/16 of anything
Hey, no.
ever,
Hey, no.
ever in the world, in the history of mankind. Has that ever been a necessity?
Well, 7/16 is
Isn't it
the.
also the
No,
metric
no, hold
system?
on a second. Hold on. I'm going to defend myself here, Ethriel.
Uh-oh. I've hit him in a
7/16
sweet
is
spot.
the measure of Jacob's hem. Hmm.
It's true.
Take
That
it.
is true.
Take it. I'm sorry. Go ahead,
But
Ithriel.
Isn't the metric system also part of the law because they actually have what the metric is compared to imperial?
The imperial? No, no, I don't know what the situation with it is, but the metric is just simply a base 10 system, where the imperial is a sexagesimal system or a base 60 system, right? And basically what happened was long time ago in some ancient distance and distant antiquity, some people, maybe even not even humans, could have been some early type of human, who knows? They figured out, and I think it just naturally goes this way because of gravity and all that stuff, that our reality is based upon the thing we call today as the Fibonacci sequence or the golden ratio, right? Someone figured that shit out a long time ago. Some people give it to some Greek guy, but nah. Well, you can go look at all the buildings thousands and thousands of years older based on the golden ratio. So some
yes.
ancient dude figured it out, and they were like, "Ooh, this must be magic."
It's
Even though it
magic.
doesn't mean shit. I mean, I imagine there's certain scientific applications that it's actually very important, but in general, for the basic, building a building or something like that, it doesn't mean anything. But they was like, oh, magic, God, right? And it became a thing, and it become ensconced in the temples and the churches and all these places. Keep in mind, if you look at any of these religious places like a temple, right? Let's take that word for a second. Let me shift into English teacher mode, if I may. Yeah.
Mhm.
Temple, temple, ul just meaning a thing, right? So
Yeah.
temp. What does this root mean?
Here he goes.
It
He's on. I knew it was
means
coming.
literally a rhythmic pattern,
Yes. Just
right?
like tempo. Yeah,
Yes,
tempo.
quite literally.
Yeah,
Going to the
temperature.
Latinesque version, Romanesque version.
Yeah.
But church also has the same thing. All of these words that we use for holy ground, holy places,
Mhm.
literally mean the place where time is kept. It's literally
Mm.
what they mean. Even over here in Japan, they have otera. What does that
Mhm.
mean? The place where rhythm is made.
Mm.
Literally, the ground upon which it is made. The whole
Interesting.
world, every language in the world, all these places, names for churches and temples and stuff, they all mean a place to keep time. And why does that matter? Because these people were navigators going back to incredible antiquity. And the
Mhm.
way you move around the oceans, especially if you're not just, even if you are island hopping, is, navigating by the stars and time.
Right.
You need
Right.
time. And all these places, like for instance, the Celtic cross. Everyone's like, "Oh, that's an interesting way to do a cross." It's not a cross at all. It's literally a sextant,
Yes, it is. You're correct.
literally, right? Uh, you know, but I mean, this is an ancient thing that people had, and I don't know who they were or who they created. You call them whatever you want, but they figured out this math, right? And because trade and travel is such a it is power. They kept it secret. They kept it hidden. They'd kill for that shit, right?
They
And
Gandalfed it.
so things went for millennia after millennia after millennia. Now we have GPS. So they've
Yep.
had to find other ways to manipulate us, right?
Wait a minute. Wait.
What?
No. Wait. What? The
Um,
powers that be?
no.
Never.
But
Mm-mm. Not
that's
them.
what American imperial math is. That's what it is. And
Yes.
therefore, it is the superior math. Metric is just easier. And that's fine. I have no trouble with that. So,
Yeah. So movies, though.
your friend was wrong, Ellen. Yeah, I want to see this movie too. And
It,
I love Robert Eggers because he doesn't give a shit what you think. He's doing his thing, right?
yeah.
And I was
True.
trying my
True.
best not to see it, but I finally did see an image of Count Orlok, and he just took a completely different take on it. Complete different take. I love
Yeah.
that. I love the fact he's like, screw you, I'm doing my movie. I
Yes.
love that. Yeah, I love that. So it's cool. Anyway, what am I doing here? What are presents? Dumb. Brave the Dark, another movie that did not make money. A middle number of theaters too.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. It's well, in fairness, I'll give them this one caveat because I
Hmm.
feel like being generous.
Uh-huh.
It is January, and it's a
It
very,
is
very,
January.
very,
It
very
is, and we
cold
got Trumpy
January.
out there stomping all over shit. So
Yes,
there's
and
plenty of
so
theater at
I
home.
Mm.
Yeah.
I have a feeling you also a lot of these movies are coming out the same day or very, very, very soon after streaming. Like I can watch Nosferatu on my TV already. I could
I
just
can't.
boom
I gotta
done.
go check. When did it drop?
Christmas, I believe.
Oh
Christmas
no,
Day,
I
I
I
think.
still it's still not on the finished databases. But
Yeah.
those guys are pretty strict about that stuff.
But my
Uh,
point is, there we've been talking about this, and I said it a long time ago, and you guys laughed at me and said I was crazy when I said that the maybe not the distributors, but the movie producers want to move to streaming because there's a lot less red tape, there's a lot less hurdles, there's a lot less bureaucratic bullshit. They can just jump in, plug in, boom, right? And make their movie, and it takes a lot less effort to get it to the masses than it does to put it on film, mass produce the film, send it off to all these theaters, like 4,000 in America alone, uh, do all of this work, do all this promotional material and all these buildings. Each one has to have its own poster and its own sign and all this. Da, 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 da.
hmm
All of that is work, time, money, energy
Yeah.
that could be spent on just putting it on streaming, running a social media campaign that works, a good one, and then there you go. Like
Yeah.
we've seen this multiple times now, where these movies are made or make or break on social media. When they get them, they come out and they say all kinds of nonsense about we don't want white men watching our movie, and white men are like okay, and then
Okay.
they don't make any money, and then they go wait a minute, what
Yeah.
happened? Well,
Well, it's
you
just
told us to stay home, so we did.
pure racism, and then they blame you for it.
Yeah.
But
But my
what?
point is,
Yeah.
my point is, there's a lot of red tape, a lot of hurdles, a lot of bureaucracy, which is apparently the word of the day for in the movie industry as a whole, not just
hmm
in the production, but in the distribution,
That's
in the
okay.
in the actual retail of it. All of that is killing them. It's
Yeah.
killing them. I've been saying it for years and years. They need to try and shift away, and they
Yeah.
did, but they still tried to keep everything basically the same. They
Yeah.
tried to keep the budgets the same. They tried to keep, having 75 assistants for 2 people the same. Like, they tried to keep all the stuff they had, all the excess that they had before, and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And now we're starting to see, and we've been seeing it, and I've been telling you it's coming for years, the correction. And I think this is part of the correction. You're going to
Well,
start to see less and less of these movies
yeah.
making tons and tons of
And
money.
it happened in the 70s too, so it's not
Yeah.
like this is new. But it's okay though, because Trump has chosen not one, not two, but three ambassadors to Hollywood. Three.
Yes.
Did you
Yeah.
see old Sly the other day? It was wonderful. He was out doing something in public, as I'm sure he constantly does, right? He is Sylvester Stallone, an American icon. But some kid in the crowd came up and did one of the Rocky speeches,
Yes.
real exuberant. And then
Yeah, I
then
saw that.
Sly just started quoting it with him. It was
Yeah.
beautiful.
Sly wrote it. Sly wrote it.
Yeah,
That
I'm
was
sure he
from
did. I'm sure he did.
Rocky Five, I believe, and he wrote that. So,
Yeah, but I'm just
or
saying
maybe it was the
that's
Balboa
wonderful.
movie. Whatever.
That's
Yeah.
love. That's love.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and,
And
and
it's one of the best written speeches ever in movie history. It's phenomenal, and it's correct.
yeah, but that was wonderful little thing to see. John
Yeah.
Voight's been speaking out. Mel Gibson has been naming names. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Yes.
Anyway,
It's
what is
very
this
good.
shit? It ain't making no money. It doesn't give me any information about who the hell's in it. But alrighty. Brave the Dark, haunted by torturous childhood memories. Oh, Angel
Mm-hmm.
Studios.
Mm-hmm.
Never heard of you. Nate Williams finds himself engulfed in darkness when his drama teacher, Mr. Dean, bails him out of jail and takes him in. Nate must confront his past before it leads to his own destruction. So it's gay. All right, cool.
So it's gay.
The Colors Within. Woof. Look how many theaters. Look, oh my goodness. Dude, this is one of
That's
the
not good.
Japanese anime, right?
That's not good. Yeah.
That's bad, dude. 5,570 theaters. Dude, that's a lot. That's a lot. Usually the big numbers we see is like 4,000 something, right? That's
Yes.
enormous. And it's only made $1 million worldwide. Goodness gracious, dude.
It's not good. That's not good. No one's seen it.
I'm not
I've
all
never
of
heard
this
of this.
either.
I've never heard of this one.
Yeah.
So yeah,
G
because usually
Kids.
usually when they put out some big anime release or whatever, I at least get a whiff of it
It's
because
like a animation drama musical. Ugh.
yeah, I don't know.
Ugh.
I've never heard of it.
Never heard of it. That's a bomb. That's a mega bomb. All right.
That's a multi bomb. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
big
it
boy.
is. Let's see. We got here the Inheritance. All right. Once again, I'm not getting any information on who's in it. This is IFC Films, so European, I guess. When Maya learns her father Sam was once a spy. Dun, 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 she suddenly finds herself at the center of an international conspiracy. Well, is Sam's father Jason Statham? Oh no, it would be a couple of
I'm
million
guessing
dollars.
not because it'd be
Yeah,
making more money.
he'd be making more money. But Jason, he does one thing, but boy, does he do it good.
But he does
I
it very well.
I do it every
He's very
time a Jason
talented.
Statham movie comes out. I watch it every time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
every
very
time.
good.
Yeah, because and actually recently he had one come out called Beekeeper. It's the same
He
shit
did.
you've seen.
It
But
is.
it was good though. That was a good one.
It's not bad. It's
That was a
not bad
good
at
one.
all. I like his character in that
Yeah.
actually.
And that other guy that Hollywood is absolutely assholes to. He did the Bricklayer. You know the guy who was in
Mhm.
oh I can't remember. He's in a bunch of little stuff, but Hollywood just hates him, I guess. But that was a B movie. That was pretty good too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Jason Beekeeper was pretty good, dude. That was solid.
It's been a rough few weeks here for old Hollywood. I mean, if you can even look at these numbers, these are not good numbers.
Yeah,
And it's not getting better anytime soon, I don't think, especially with the reports that Brave New World is not estimated to make money at all, which we knew it wasn't going to because they would need to make a lot of
yeah.
money. Um, Hollywood's in trouble,
They are.
and they're going to have to course correct. Now, whether or not they can, I don't know, but they're going to have to. They're going to have to start making, I don't know, movies again that people want to watch,
Can't
that are
want to.
that
Yeah.
are aspirational, inspirational, that are uplifting. I think the world, I mean, think about it. Coming out of COVID, and there's just still so much like, coming out of the people who should be making the things that unite us, that make us happy as a species, as a race.
Yeah.
And yet, what do we get? We get a
Like
whole
Red
bunch of
One.
misery.
Oh,
Mike Red
look,
1 is a great example.
the
A great
Kiwi's
example.
here.
Look at him. There he is, the booster boy. But my point is, we should we got that Superman movie coming out this year, right? And when I look at, and we're gonna trigger Booster because he liked the trailer. But when I look at it, I
I
don't
didn't
see
like
what
it.
I want.
Yeah.
I want aspirationalism. I want excellence. I want Superman to feel like Superman right out of the rip. Right? We don't need a bunch of meandering with it.
Maybe we can stop with Superman not looking like an idiot. How about that?
Well, now you're asking a lot, Chester. Now you're asking a lot.
And Guy Gardner not looking like
Even the
cosplayer.
Zumo thing,
How about that?
yeah, even the Zumo thing is hell. While the
Yeah.
clock held.
I don't even want to talk
You know,
about
the
Superman.
Barkley haircut.
What was that, Ezreal?
Even the Zumo Sate clock's haircut. You know
Yeah,
that
no, it's
broccoli
horrible, dude.
haircut thing they have.
It's
It's
bad. It's
horrible.
not
It looks so bad. Anyway, let's talk about this other movie that opened. Now, this one is interesting. This is
boy.
a lot of you might not know who this lazy lady is. Her name is Liza Minnelli, and she was like a Broadway theater singer, triple threat type that had a little bit of success in movies for a while. I think was the jazz singer. Was that the big one she hit in? But this is open in one theater, either in New York or California, I'm sure. And it made $19,000, which is it's okay weekend. Um, but I'm sure this is a very low budget biopic about Liza Minnelli. So I don't know. Do we consider that a failure though?
Well, because it's not made to make money, right?
No,
That's
it's just
it's one of those.
to love on
Right.
Liza, and I don't have a problem with that. I ain't got no
Yeah,
problem
it's
with loving
fine.
on
If
Liza
somebody wants
Minnelli.
to waste their money doing that, let them.
Yeah, go
It's their
for it,
business.
man. Yeah, she was a
Rock out,
weird
bro.
looking lady, but she's a triple threat. She could sing,
Yeah.
she could dance, she could act, she could do it. She could do it.
Right.
But it's an interesting way to round out the
One of the
box office.
problems, I'm going back to the Superman because Roger just pointed it out. He says he
Oh,
doesn't want defeated Superman. One of the
no.
problems with the way that trailer's presented is they show him already defeated.
Yeah.
This is our first look at Superman. He shouldn't be beatable yet. Not saying ever. Not saying you can't get him a villain that can beat him up. That's fine. But we don't need it right out of the gate. What are we doing? Like, he's supposed to be our hero. He's supposed to be the representation of Christ. Quite literally, that's what he
Well,
is.
Moses,
He's a
but
savior.
fair enough.
Well,
Yeah.
but the reason they made him is he's supposed to be the Messiah. He's a
Yeah,
modern
a
interpretation
Messiah.
of the
Yeah,
Messiah. Yeah.
that's true.
So he's supposed to be the hero. He can be beaten down. He can even lose, but he can't do it right out of the gate. What are we doing? Like that's just it's just the marketing on that is just
Yeah,
really dumb. The
I
movie
don't
could be
like it.
great. We don't know until we see it.
It just
But
looked bad. It looked like a
Ugh,
bad CW movie, dude.
ugh.
It looked bad. But like we
Yeah.
don't know. We'll have to wait and see, just like with everything else. However, I figure what is it? How American? Hey,
How
dude,
American.
he's ours. Fuck off.
That's true. He is America's boy.
Yeah, that's
Superman.
us. That's our icon. We made him. You keep your hands off, you
You
dirty
don't get to
Kiwi.
touch him. You don't touch him. He's
Yeah.
ours.
I thought the Canadians made him, don't you know?
No, shut up. It's American. Pure American. You people don't know. Foreigners. He does. No, that's true, Booster. Superman
He
needs
does
a
have one.
can't
It's
lose a
called.
fight clause with his lawyer. It's called being
He does
Superman.
have one. It's called being Superman.
But anyway, let's go over here and take a look at coming soon stuff coming up. So somebody was like, "Hey, we had that little Zootopia movie that people kind of liked, and everyone seemed to like the Sloths because they took 10 minutes of screen time to show them say a sentence, and they thought it was hilarious. So let's make an entire movie of that." Yeah, I'm gonna watch the trailer. I'm doing it.
Yeah, let's watch it. Let's see if they kick us off YouTube again. Let's see what happens. Let's see. This is a long trailer. That's
Just
really
slots
long.
around, zipping around the globe to find the rarest
Oh my, this
and
animation.
greatest recipes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
great story, but could you check on our food?
That animation's not great.
It looks bad.
That isn't. Yeah.
It looks bad.
Now,
And
there's a trick in
the
here for
accent is
perfect
weird.
guacamole. Yes, you
Oh,
sure
there, I get it. They're
everybody.
Mexicans. Mexican
okay.
sloths, or Brazilian maybe. That's fair. That's fair enough.
We've got ourselves a new
He's in a wheelchair. Nice.
He's a wheelchair sloth. All right. Why not?
All right, it's just a little cooking thing. It looks like it's fairly cheaply made.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
yeah,
It's not a high
whatever.
quality production.
Yeah,
Eh, it might
the
hit
animation
though.
does not flow.
Well, you never know. It might hit though, right? Why? Shut up.
Right now.
Why? Why are you doing that? I can solve that though. Okay, solve. All right, let's take a look here. Bonnie Blue. Hmm.
Oh gosh.
James Cotton
Oh.
Life and the Blue. Is this the asshole, the like traitor, hateful American guy, Black Panther dude that the left
I have no
loves, even
idea.
though he's like a criminal?
No idea.
Might
Could
be.
be. No idea.
Suits L.A. Why? All right.
I-
No
Again,
mercy. To no
no mercy.
mercy. To know.
Interesting.
To know.
Interesting. Interesting little play
Uh,
on words they have there. Excellent.
Pascagoula 73.
What the fuck is that?
I don't know. It's an exclusive clip. Let's see. We got this Spider-Man with the Osborns are black, of
Oh,
course.
have you seen the trailer for that?
I refuse. No, I refuse.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's so bad. Like, I'm not even talking about any narratively or any of that. The look of it is trashy. It looks bad. It looks poorly made. Worse than that Sloth movie. It looks poorly made, and it's Spider-Man.
Yeah, well, they got to charge as much money and have huge budgets, but they want to save as much money as possible. That needs to go into people's pockets, Thundero.
Yeah.
This is desperate times, you know.
Yeah,
Anyway,
they're hard up over there. I know.
let's see. What do we got? The Godfather of Harlem. Now, first of all, you're an American. I can tell. Which means if you're a black person or a mulatto as you are, I'm sure you identify as black though, because that would be beneficial. But anyway, you're a black American, so that means you're Protestant, if anything. You're certainly not Catholic. They're quite rare. And Godfather is most certainly a Catholic word.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know about you being the Godfather of Harlem. And besides, I'm pretty sure Jesse Jackson's the Godfather of Harlem. Pretty sure. Anyway, moving on. Sweet Magnolias. No. Bloat.
Season 4.
What is this? My Precious? What that looks like freaking Gollum. It is
I
Gollum.
don't know what it looks like. Gollum. Yeah, I don't know what's happening there.
I'm going to only
What we
click
got
on the
down
ones
here?
that get that. Thundero is the one in charge of saying what I click on. Okay,
That's a good. That's a
that's
good.
good.
The Land That Time Forgot. Is that a live action Land That Time Forgot? Is that what we're doing?
I don't know. Let's take a look at our exclusive trailer.
Oh, that's okay. There it is. That's a great trailer. Just one hard image. So they're redoing the Land That Time Forgot because
I love that. When I was a little kid, I loved that though. I did.
I did too. I did too.
Oh, it's Super B. It's Ultra B.
Yeah.
Ultra, like a low. Oh my God, this CJ. Is this Asylum? Is this Asylum? That means it's going to be awesome, just so you know.
This is gonna be the best movie of the year. I'm watching it over and over again. I have to. Look at it.
I
Look
love.
at the quality.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Oh.
I want more movies like this though. Just schlock.
Good
right?
old beach
Just-
log, sure.
Yeah. Look at it.
It's so bad. Yeah.
Oh man.
I wish they would pick a place on planet Earth they're from, though.
Well, listen. There is no places on planet Earth apparently. Everybody's from the same place. Oh my. What's this running gonna do?
It's actually better than the standard Asylum stuff, though. It is slightly better.
Yes.
It is
but-
slightly better.
Not saying much.
No. All right, cool. All righty. You know, it's one of those. Who's making this? Dude.
Asylum.
Dude.
You nailed
Dude.
it. Ding. He
I
drained
get-
it from 3-point land.
Finally,
Good time.
I get points. Nice.
Yep.
Dude,
Points
that's
for
a pretty
Chester.
good
He
looking
finally got
Asylum
it.
film, though, dude.
Yeah, it's better than their others.
Yeah. It's usually real bad schlock. But Asylum is that. It's pure schlock. I mean, like the Sharknado, the dumbest concept anyone's ever come up with. Ever.
Yes.
It made millions.
Yes. Oh, and they made 4 of them.
They did.
Because they just couldn't
And they
get enough.
did. We were both right, Booster. It's an Asylum film. Yep.
We are thinking about Land Before Time boosters, right? But there is a movie called Land That Time Forgot. I know there is.
Yeah,
I know.
I'm sure.
I know that it exists.
Single car crash. No.
What's
God,
this
no.
Knight's War? Let's check that out.
Okay, let's see. Let me check it
Let's see.
at a time. Dredd has shared the A Knight's Dread is a company called Dread. Alrighty.
Apparently.
All right, let's see it.
Oh,
Oh, this
ad.
idiot.
A Japanese ad of all things.
This idiot, and I can't click on it too. I can't stand that idiot.
Japanese ads. They're the best. They're
Idiot.
so obnoxious.
It's just one.
Dark has happened here. Whatever they pay,
Iteku.
it happens tonight. Go find the men and tell them what you have seen. Prophecy is true.
It's
Oh,
it's
boy.
B,
This
but it's
is
not
B, yeah.
horrible.
Low. I'd say it's low B, but it's B. Yeah.
It is
in my
B.
estimation.
Well, no, definitely.
What are they doing?
Some of them are trying to do proper accents.
Yes, they're trying to act.
Yeah.
Whether or not they're succeeding is
See,
a whole other story.
One of the problems that you have when you're doing film, and recently we've seen this real bad with Star Wars, right? All the
Oh,
Star
yeah.
Wars nonsense.
I
When
know
you're
where you're going
doing
with that.
something like Star Wars, never do you want your actors to ever make a metaphor, a cultural metaphor or reference, ever.
Yes.
If you
Yes.
are going to put some kind of proverb out or even an idiom, you need to create that yourself. You don't see a lot of them
Create it
because that's
yourself or
work.
make it be really, really old.
Right.
Old culture. Yeah.
So you don't want anybody to say, "Oh, that's an American expression. Oh, that person's from LA."
Yes.
You don't want that.
Yeah.
You want to have this complete, submersion into something that's not that, right? That's, that's simple. At least they're trying with this. They are trying.
They're putting some effort in. You know,
They are.
They're giving it a shot. Give it the old college.
Opening a gateway to hell.
This guy is not doing as well as the other guy, but that's all right.
No. What is that? Is that a demon? What am I looking at here? Oh boy.
This is more like the old sword and sorcery stuff we got in the 80s.
It's interesting. I'm still not sure what the hell's going on, but it's interesting.
No, I have no clue.
I have fought the witch for as long as I can remember.
It's definitely
Fighting a witch.
Eastern
Okay.
Europe. It filmed in Eastern Europe.
A witch is being fought.
Now,
There's a female knight. All right, why not? Fantasy, you can have female knights.
Do you mind if we skip to the fighting part?
I agree, sir.
That was a good line.
It
The
was a
fighting
good
looks
line.
terrible, but that was a good line.
Dude, you know what this really reminds me of the old 80s sword and sorcery movies.
Yes, which we could use some more.
We
of.
could, dude.
use-
We could.
They're good.
I'm going to watch it.
I might watch it too. It looks like one of those movies that you just watch for fun. You're not
Yeah,
expecting anything.
they're trying, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, they've got effort here.
Yeah,
Look
yeah,
at
yeah.
Yeah, that ain't bad. That could be something. It's not going to make billions, but it could do something.
Yeah,
Higher
no,
rent.
I'm down for it. A Knight's
good.
War. I'm down for it. I'm cool.
Why not?
I don't know
Let's
what
check
you
it
are.
out.
Yeah, no, definitely. I don't know about
We
the
don't
hell.
need we don't need nothing Attack on Titan. We don't need
The
nothing
dead
of that.
thing. Is that a comment on lesbianism? Okay. Yellow
Hope
Jackets.
not.
Mickey 17. Did you guys see the trailer on this?
I think so, but I don't remember it.
Yeah,
see it.
it's I hated it.
Well, then
I
let's
don't know
not see it.
why. It just the trailer offended me.
Deeply offended him.
It did. I have no clue why. There's no reason. I just didn't like it.
Interesting.
Yeah, you guys go check it out yourself. I don't want to watch it again. It'll just trigger me. All right. La Doce Villa.
Booster wants us to click on Mickey 17. He said it in
I'm
the
not. I
chat.
don't give a shit. Craven, of course. Like I said,
Craven.
if it weren't a Craven movie, it's pretty good. It's not
There's a
bad.
Western. Old Guns of Redemption looks like a Western.
Guns of Redemption. Seven Veils. Now, is that the old Seven Veils, literally the 1001 Arabian Nights? Seven Veils?
I don't know.
I wonder.
I genuinely don't know. Could
School
be.
Spirits. No, oh God, that's a horror movie. It's season 2. Oh jeez. Brave New World. Don't need it. Opus. Okay. Why is a B European movie interesting me more than anything else? That's not good, dude. You guys, that's not good, dude.
No, it's not good at all.
Queen of the
Queen
Ring.
of the
We already
Ring.
talked about that. We
Oh,
already talked about that.
Way. Outlander. The Monkey. Yeah, none of this is. None
And,
of this looks.
and that's not even Monkey
You-
Shines. It's not even Monkey Shines.
No.
Liars.
You know what I really want, and I've said this before.
Ooh.
I want a proper high budget Journey to the West series of movies.
something that we make. There are dozens of
Yes.
them you can find in
No, I
Asia, sure.
understand that. That's what I mean. I mean
But
made
yeah,
by
made in
professionals.
the West. Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, why not? Why not
Why not?
honor one of the largest religions on earth? Why not?
Why not honor one of the oldest and most impressive characters to ever be made with Wukong? He's
Yeah.
amazing. Everybody loves Wukong. He's a great character. His hero's journey is phenomenal. It's one
Yeah.
of the best in literature,
Now give
period.
it to us. Yeah, no, I agree.
Do it.
I mean, other things like, for instance, you could do something with like, I can't remember what was the name of that movie. That of course Saladin was in it, and you had that blacksmith who goes on with Liam Neeson, and Kingdom of Heaven. Kingdom of Heaven.
Kingdom of Heaven. Oh,
Pretty
I'd kill
solid
for
flick,
another
dude.
Kingdom of Heaven. That's
Pretty
such a
solid
good. It's
flick.
so underrated.
It
It's so
is.
good. It's so strong. The message of faith in it is
It
unbelievable. It's
is.
so good. It's so
But
good.
I would love to get me a Saladin movie. That
Yeah.
would be
Hell
interesting.
yeah.
Um,
Saladin is a very interesting character. Very interesting
it is.
character.
But I mean, I'm just saying that not everything has to be Christian or Protestant or Catholic. We can look at some of the other religious stuff too. Hindi's
Yeah.
got to be hard because they're so gaudy. The Indians in
Yeah.
general are gaudy. It's kind of
Yeah.
hard for a Western audience. Like if you look at the most successful Indian movie of all time, Slumdog Millionaire, right?
Yes.
Now, a British guy was involved, and he toned the colors down on that incredibly so, and it worked
Yeah.
because the Indians are gaudy as hell. They're just
They
overly
do like the
colorful.
glitz and the glamour.
And that's
They
cool.
do.
That's their thing. I have no problem with that. But Western people, we're more dour.
Yes.
It is what it is. What is this right here? Spartacus, House of Usher. I kind of like the Spartacus with the original dude in it. Then he died,
Leviticus
sadly.
House of Asher. Interesting. I don't know. I've never heard of this. Is it a
Is
TV show?
is it connected to Spartacus? I
It
kind
says
of
it
liked it.
stars.
It's same company, yeah. Let me take a look.
Yeah. Oh, history bending, erotic, thrilling roller coaster
Well, that's what
experience.
Spartacus was, right?
Well,
But with
that's
the
just the
original
sentence.
guy, it was good though.
Oh, there we go. There's the erotic. That's just the whole sentence they just made there.
It is.
I don't know. I would like. Oh, he's interesting. Who is that guy? I know that guy. Who is that?
Yeah, he looks familiar, doesn't he? Yeah. The House of Asher.
That's another one you think we could get a really cool big budget movie about is Spartacus, but
Well, we
not in a
have.
long time.
I mean,
Not in a
Kirk
long
Douglas
time.
kind of owned it, so
Yeah,
And then
but
we,
come on,
in a
like they
way,
don't remake everything.
well,
They
we
don't do
also, yeah,
everything.
that's true. But we also got with Charlton Heston, Ben Hur, which of course
Yep.
has more to do with a slight interaction with Jesus. But there
Yes,
is a
it's
Spartacus
4
theme in
hours
it.
and a slight interaction of Jesus, and that's pretty much the whole point
That's
of the
what it
movie.
is. Yeah, that's what it is.
Uh,
Uh, but um, but yeah, it's
I would love, unironically, and I think we're gonna get it because of that Chosen series. I would love for somebody to start taking those stories more seriously and make them again. Whether it's the Ten Commandments or just any movies like that that we got from that era. What you could do with the technology now would be just
yeah.
phenomenal.
I
I know
mean,
Mel keeps talking about he's gonna make The Passion 2.
well, he's
Cool,
actually
do
that's
it.
in production, so
Yeah, do it. Let's see it, especially since what he wants to do with it is gonna be very interesting. The
yeah,
harrowing
yeah.
and just everything up to the apostles and the way they died. All of that would be phenomenal if it's done well, and Mel probably
Y-
will do it well. He's a phenomenal director when he wants to be.
You know what would be a
So
good movie, dude? You know what would be
uh,
just going off what you said.
yeah,
Instead of making the Ten Commandments, right? The 20, or if we want to go Mel Brooks. Anyway, but what what they should do? Do Aaron, right?
wait,
Whilst
I didn't get what you said.
Moses is up on the mountain, maybe you start with him going to the mountain, and then the whole movie is about Aaron trying to keep it together and failing. And then at the end,
That'd be
Moses
interesting.
returning. That would be interesting
So the Ten Commandments story, but from the
from
people who didn't
Aaron's
go up the
point of view,
mountains. Yeah.
of him trying to
Yeah.
keep it together as they're losing their shit and being, as the Jews always are, quick to betray their religion.
They
That's their
seem to
modus
be, yes.
operandi. And well, it's true. It happens all the time. It's almost
Yeah.
as if it's a theme or something.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on.
Hmm. Yeah.
Not get crazy.
No, that's
But no,
not
that
do
could be
that.
cool. Like you could do some real. There's a lot of really cool stories just in there. They're
Yeah.
just tucked away. I wouldn't mind a proper David. That could be interesting.
A
Proper
proper
Solomon.
David. Yeah.
Yes, proper David.
Um,
Not the hyper
no,
fictionalized,
no, the
almost
proper
too good to be.
David.
No, the
Yeah.
real David.
You
David
know,
died for a reason. It was because he was a bad boy.
he got punished.
Um,
Yeah.
yes,
But I mean, another one would be good is Abram, or as we call him
yes,
these days, Abraham. Um,
Abraham.
but no, what would be an interesting way to do that? Because he's a Sumerian, right?
Yes,
Mesopotamian, and his father's a priest a big powerful priest in the temple. He's a priest as well. He gets sent on a mission to Egypt to get military help to go hold a post, which eventually became Jerusalem, right?
yes,
Abraham, right? That part of the story. And along the way, God speaks to him. Along the way, he becomes indoctrinated, enlisted, right? That
yeah,
would be interesting. That kind of smaller story. Just Abraham traveling from with a mission to go to Egypt to get help, right? Or Ladesh or whatever city they want to take him out of. I can't remember which one he left from. But that could be interesting.
yep, yep, absolutely. Like I said, there's a ton of stories in there that never have really been put to the big screen or anything. I think you could do a lot of really cool stuff. You could do you if all this kick they've been on with rah women for all these years. Why didn't we get the story of Ruth? It's a phenomenal
Ruth
story.
or Esther,
Esther,
yeah,
yeah. Why not?
Mm.
Why not? Why
yeah.
not tell
Or
Jesus's
even
life from
Bathsheba
Mary's
from her
perspective?
point of view.
Yeah, you could do Jesus's life from Mary's perspective. Is what we know of
Yeah,
it. You
or
could put
Mary
Have they done
Magdalene.
a movie?
yeah. Why not? But they won't do it
Yeah.
because something they hate God. I guess I don't know.
They do. Yeah. Now Roger's angry at
Mm.
us, but you've made a faux pas, Roger. I'm going to
Uh-oh.
call you out for it, because he's going on about apart from Captain America: Brave New World. What do you guys think about the next Marvel movies? We don't, and we said so.
Yeah, we don't at all.
We don't.
They're all gonna be
We don't
garbage, and
care
we have no
anymore. You're
interest.
correct,
Yeah,
Roger. We don't
they
care.
did. They did it.
They
They
did it.
actually made us not give a shit.
Hmm.
Uh, which is impressive. Good job.
Yep.
Claps for them. I
Yep.
guess they pulled it off. Just with Star Wars, don't care. Great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Well,
Uh,
I'll go ahead and click on Mickey 17. Although
oh
this is
boy,
the
here
one that
it
might get
comes.
us actually a hit. But because this is a big one from Warner Brothers. But I'll try to
That was
stop it.
Noah.
But
That was Noah.
Something was
but here's the
working
thing.
out, and I wanted to get the
Just
hell
watch
out
it.
there.
You're planning to be an expendable?
You read through the
Domino.
paperwork.
I should have read through it.
All right. So this guy, I can't remember his name, but they keep putting him in the wrong roles.
Mhm.
He's playing an absolute moron who signs up for testing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's your premise. He's an
Mm.
absolute moron who signed up for testing. Okay, there you go. You ready? You got it? You got it? All right, here
I'm
we
with
go. We
you.
got it.
I'm with you.
We got it.
We're on it. How do you say that director's name?
Bong Hoon Hu, Bong Hoon Yu Hu, something like that. Korean.
floating around.
Yeah, I don't speak Korean.
So
Is it
good.
There really was an unknown virus in the air. Lethal one.
See you tomorrow.
Okay, so the premise is he's a moron who signed up for testing, and what they're doing is they're just cloning him over and over and using him to test things. Like you saw right there, he went out into an atmosphere, just take deep breaths, see what happened. Well, he died, throw the body out, get the next clone. And the movie is going to be about Mickey, the 17th clone. Okay.
Apparently, I just yeah.
And simple enough. That's a simple premise. Good enough.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about this trailer, but I just don't like it. I don't like it.
Something about it, huh? Something about it triggers you a bit.
It's all kind of tongue in cheek.
That's
It's
Batman.
very modern language.
It's Bat-
They made me work my
That's our
ass
boy.
off
That's
to
the
give me
new
one
Batman.
shitty mission after
It is.
another.
No, I
Batman
know.
never gets to play Batman again because they can't get their shit together out there.
Every time I
And he
die,
just
the
dies
devil's
after
trimming
dies
out
and
again.
dies.
And everyone asks, what's it feel like to die?
16 times apparently.
Probably sucks, I'd imagine.
Ship was
I don't know.
filled with mostly
Imagine it's good.
dickheads. But nah, Sean. She's
Oh, he
always
got him
welcome.
girl because it has to be a black one though. But I think he likes him though.
That's when everything changed.
Is this another
Oh.
class
They made a
warfare movie?
mistake.
Uh-oh.
What?
Now
What,
there's two
Ezreal?
of 'em.
So is this another class warfare movie?
Probably.
I'm
They like
sure.
to
I'm
make
sure. I'm sure. It's quite obviously banging me in the head with it. So I would assume
Yeah.
yes. But I don't like making assumptions on Hollywood because they are morons. But
They are.
yeah, he looks so sickly here though, dude. Which I suppose is the point, isn't it? You know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
He's a sick little clone boy.
Yeah.
Multiple.
Yeah. Wasn't expecting that.
In the case of multiples, we exterminate every individual.
Which body
Oh,
goes
that
first,
was
one at a
good.
time,
That
is
was
twice the
funny.
fun.
You don't look like you're printed out. You're just a person.
Oh boy.
It's not your
Here we
fault.
go.
This is a fight to the death.
Interesting.
You know, the premise is simple enough. It's clearly a comedy. It's got Mark Ruffalo, who I can't stand in it, but you know,
Yeah.
occasionally he puts a good performance out. I don't know what it is about it. I just don't like it. I don't like it. It's just like, it's kind of like, fuck you, dude. I don't know. I don't know. Tell me why I'm wrong.
The simple fact is,
I don't know. I don't know if I like it. It's one of those movies I watch, make the humor work with what they're trying to do. Because it's hard to tell by just this is actually a good trailer insofar as it's not telling me
Not a
everything.
great gift to mankind.
It's
Yeah, no,
trying to
it's
show me-
fine.
Yeah, I can't stand Mark
Someone's
Ruffalo
raised
either.
to die.
Every
This
time I see him, I'm like,
wasn't scared.
Yeah. So, you know, it's definitely, as you said, with the class warfare thing, Ezreal. You know, standing up against the man. But of course, the problem with the premise is they volunteered.
yeah, yeah, it's true. This is a volunteer program. At least that's the way they made it sound. Volunteer
It's
program.
quite clear. Because
Um,
even in the beginning, the lady said, "Did you read the paperwork? Are you sure?" Right? And like I said, he's playing a moron. He seems to get laid a lot. You know, cool,
Hey, listen, you don't gotta be
good.
smart to get pussy.
They
You don't gotta
seem,
be.
that's fair. They seem to remember their deaths and lives, so something
Yep.
in the cloning process. But okay, they're on a ship. They're going to a planet that seems to be infested with these kind of critters. So, and that's the problem, I guess. I don't know. It's I don't know. I just there's no reason for me not to like it. I just I don't know.
Something about it. Something about it rubs you raw. It's probably because it's made by Koreans, and you don't like Koreans. 'cause you're
Maybe I
racist.
didn't know that until you mentioned it. The music for
You can
they
just smell it. He's like, nah,
maybe
Koreans be here.
Busha says the music they chose for this trailer is super obnoxious. That's part of the problem.
Yeah,
It's
that's a
jokey.
good
It's
point.
jokey.
Yeah.
You know, ho 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 ho, ho, you know, that
And I
kind of
think that's
dumb
a big
humor.
part of the problem with me too. I don't necessarily dislike it because I would watch it and be able to tell you. Maybe I'll watch it with Booster, but I don't know if I like the tone. I think I'm tired of this insincere tone
Yeah.
in these sorts of movies.
Yeah.
I think I'm just tired of it. Yeah. Yeah. Chester, I think we did it. I think we done did it. I think we fafoed and we found out that Hollywood's dog shit. That's what we
We
found out.
did. We fafoed.
Fafoed
Yeah.
real hard, everybody. Watch out. We're
I
Wow,
kind of
fafoed.
prefer
really? Hollywood is
FAFO
dog
though. Man, wait, what was that? That's real?
FAFO.
I mean, wow, really? Hollywood is dog shit? Tell me more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me
Yeah.
something I don't know.
Right. But you know, it is what it is. The Don is back. I do love the fact that he's embracing the Godfather Mafia theme. I like it.
I do.
He's
It's funny.
he is
It is quite
pissing
funny.
off all the right people. He is pushing stuff through. Now, of course, a lot of things are going to end up going to court. Understand that. Understand that.
Yes.
But even so, he's been able to shake a lot of trees, and he's exposing a lot of assholes. They're getting exposed, and I'm sure they're going to use it against them. Honestly, Mitch McConnell, once again, Kentucky. What are you doing, Kentucky?
Get it under control, Kentucky, for once. I'm begging you.
Jesus.
Good Lord. God, the whole state's a mess.
Yeah.
They do got nice horses, though.
Do
got nice
they?
horses. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Kentucky Saddler. You never heard of the Kentucky Saddler? The American
No.
Thoroughbred comes from Kentucky. Like,
Well,
that's where them come from.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
The Derby's there. Why wouldn't they be?
I've heard of the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah.
So I would assume that horses are there somewhere, I guess.
Yeah. There's
Uh,
just, there happens to be horses at the Kentucky Derby. Yes.
yeah. But no, I don't. I didn't know that. But cool. So Kentucky actually has a thing that I'd never
It
heard of.
has a thing. And
Okay.
whiskey. It has
Well,
that
every
too.
state has a
Well,
thing.
no, they call it bourbon.
Listen, they call it what they want. It's whiskey.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, Mitch McConnell, dude, that guy, he's just going to be a home wrecker because he's just pissed that he lost his power and his authority. He's just pissed.
Yep. Yep. He's a problem. He is, in
He
fact,
is,
a
and those other
problem.
two ladies, they're just like who is that Cheney lady who said she was a Republican, and when I heard that, I was like, I literally laughed out loud.
Oh yeah. What is her first name? Liz.
Liz,
Liz Cheney.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just
First of all,
listen to
you're
her
a
talk for
Cheney.
5 minutes. That is not a Republican at
Those
all.
Cheneys are parasites.
They
Full stop.
seemingly so. Yeah, seemingly
Yeah,
so.
we don't need more Cheneys.
No, I
Whatever they're
guess not.
offering, we don't need more of that.
Yeah, we don't
any
need
of
more
that.
of that. But nevertheless, we're going to see this week has been incredible. Just watching Trump piss everybody off, get things done, bull his way through everything. It's been great. Next week going to be the same. I have a feeling we're going to get months of this. I don't imagine we're going to get a pace that puts us at 4 years of this. Oh my God, if we did though.
It would be
Wow.
interesting.
It
There is a
would
lot
be.
of work that needs done. Like, listen, Trump and his slogan "Make America Great Again." I don't care who does it, but I'm old enough to remember when the standard of living in this country was on the continuous incline, and it is now on the continuous decline.
Yeah. No, it is.
When people say,
Yeah.
"What do you mean by making it great?" How about we fix that? Can we just fix that? Can
Yeah.
we invert that? Get that going back the right way?
Yeah.
And maybe that'll help. We
Pretty
don't need
simple.
to
Yeah,
go
we need
back
to
to
stop sending the jobs.
1950s.
We need,
Yeah, we don't need to do any of
we need
that
to
stuff. We don't
stop.
need to do any of that stuff. What
Yeah.
we do need, though, is the standard of living and the quality of life to improve instead of the opposite for the first time in a decade.
Right.
Can we
And
please have that?
notice that Trump said we're going to increase your wages, but he didn't say anything about increasing minimum wage.
Right. Well,
Right.
because minimum wage as a concept isn't a terrible idea on paper.
But
The
it doesn't
problem
work.
is,
Doesn't
in
function.
reality, all it does
Mhm.
is actually drive wages down.
Yeah.
Because your real wage goes down. If you had no minimum wage, and let's say you're a young man and you have no skills, but you want to get a job. Well, you can get a job for $2 or $3 an hour. You're not going to make a lot of money, but you can learn. Now you're in there, you're getting paid to learn. Right now, yes, you can learn all kinds of stuff on the internet for free, sure. But my point is, it's a barrier to entry when you have these high minimum wages for very low skilled people to learn skills. Now you could say, well, the education system should teach them. I agree, but it doesn't. We should fix that problem, yes, but that's going to take a lot more time than if we just let the marketplace fix it for now. But do it for now. You can solve two problems at once, right? That's been a big problem a lot of people have is as soon as you try to solve one problem, they immediately want to go, but what about this problem? Well, wait, whoa, back up. We can do both. We can, in fact, multitask. It's been done before. We've done it before. We can do it again. So this idea that you can only do one or the other, it has to be one or the other, that's been the problem for a very long time. It's what
Yeah.
made our politics so vitriolic.
Yeah.
It's designed to be a divide and conquer strategy by the billionaires and the capitalist class, the people at the very, 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 very top, that want to make sure that the peasants, as they see many of us, don't rally against them. And now, one of the ways that they do that is they give you things that sound like really good ideas. Hey, I get to make more money. All right, cool. Okay, but now everything's more expensive. Well, wait a minute. Hold on. Now, it doesn't matter if I make the numbers bigger, but I can't buy as much with it. That's when it
Yeah,
starts to
but
become a problem.
you're confusing them. Let me make it simple. Everyone, pull up a chair, get
Oh, no,
yourself
here
a
we go.
bourbon, as Kentucky likes to call it, and welcome to Chester's 101 lecture on economics.
Here we go. Let's get this guy. We don't need the etymology, please.
No,
We
no,
don't.
no, no, no.
We don't need it.
I will spare you more knowledge. But here it is. businesses don't take the cost of your eccentricities.
That's correct.
You do.
Correct. It's an
Done.
accurate statement.
That was a quick class.
It's an accurate
Now
statement.
everyone giving me my freaking $100.
No.
All right.
No, that's
No, I mean that's the reason why it doesn't work, because
yes.
companies never take cost unto themselves. They always pass it on to the consumer. That's the end of the conversation. That's the end of it. Companies never take the cost. And I saw a miracle happen the other day. A miracle.
A miracle. It's
A
coming.
miracle. Donald Trump, and I'm sorry, Booster. The only reason anyone knows anything about New Zealand is because of Peter Jackson. I know. It is what it is. But anyway, a miracle happened the other day. Donald Trump, my entire life, has been railing against insurance companies. He hates them because he's a builder and he has to deal with the nonsense of insurance companies all the time. He can't stand bureaucracy because he's had to deal with it for decades and decades and decades.
I have a
right?
story about insurance companies. We'll get
Yep.
to it after you're
Well,
done. Go ahead.
cool. But I actually saw Donald Trump go into the conversation, which we had the picture I showed you with the lady there in LA, and actually defended the insurance companies.
Yeah.
Because he said, well, look, Brad, he was talking to that politician. He said, Brad, right? Look, you guys, the insurance companies kept saying, you guys are not cleaning your mountains. You're not sweeping them. You don't have enough water. You're not doing your due diligence. You're putting us at risk. Therefore, we have to increase our costs. We have no choice. You're not doing your thing. We have to increase our costs for liability's sake. And of course, they put in a law in California that said no, insurance companies can't increase their costs. So what happened? The insurance companies left California. You gave them no choice. You gave them no choice. And Trump actually, because Brad was going on about that problem, and Trump's like, you did this. You did this. I've never would have ever imagined to see Donald Trump stand up and defend insurance companies.
Of all industries, because you're
Because
right, he
he
doesn't like
hates them. And bankers, he hates
Did
them
I tell you
assholes
my
too.
story with my insurance? I think I did, where about 6-7 months ago, my homeowner's insurance that I have had for a decade just decided to cancel me because they sent out an inspector. I never saw this person. I never heard this person. I didn't know this person was coming. I got no letters saying this person was coming to do a random inspection on my property.
Ninja.
Chester, I shit you not. You want to know why they said they canceled my insurance? Because I live in Ohio, in northwest Ohio, where it gets a little bit boggy, gets a little bit mushy.
Yeah.
And my driveway has split a little bit. So you got a little split there. They said that's a tripping hazard.
Uh-huh.
A tripping hazard. And one of my fence is missing one slat. One slat is missing from my fence. I don't care about one slat. I'm not going to worry about one slat. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And then they tried to say that my shed, I have a shed in my back which I don't even use. It's just there. It's been there since I moved in. I've got nothing in it.
Right.
They tried to say that it's missing shingles. So they can't insure me, you see, because my shed's missing shingles.
Yeah.
I went back there and I looked. This was 6 months later where I found out from my insurance agent, after he never called me after a 10-year working relationship. From my insurance agent, I found this out after I found out my insurance was canceled through the bank, because the bank was like, hey, why don't you have insurance? I was like, huh? What do you mean, why don't I have insurance? Found this out, and lo and behold, I go out and I look at the old shed, and hey, there's no shingles missing. I said, that's interesting. And then I go and look at my fence. I'm like, nope, still missing just the one slat. And this fence is just a dividing fence. It's not. That's all it is. It's to separate my driveway from my backyard. That's it. It's low. That's all it's for. It's just for fashion, basically. It's not doing anything else. My insurance company of 10 years canceled me for that.
Yeah.
For that. With no real, they claim they sent me letters. They didn't send me shit. They're lying. They couldn't send me a text or a phone call or an email. Nothing. Nothing after 10 years. So I eventually went to a different insurance company, and they've been phenomenal. Completely and utterly phenomenal. as a company. I have no
Yeah.
complaints at all. My bills are low. All my insurance is lower. My car insurance went down by half. Went in half. My homeowner's insurance went down by about $500 or $600 a year, which is quite a bit on the end of the mortgage. My point is, these insurance companies are very, very, very disgusting.
Yeah.
And the reason that happened, the real reason, is because last year, if you remember, I had a whole new roof put on my house because I was leaking. I had leakage in my house. And so they paid for it, but because my house wasn't very expensive when I bought it, to insure it was very, very cheap. So I don't have a lot paid into it, you see, because I bought it at the exact right time, just by chance, because that's how my life is. Things just happen by chance. I bought it at the exact right time, so my payments are all really, really low. So I probably haven't paid in enough to cover the cost to put on the new roof. So I guarantee you the reason why all of this happened is the insurance they sent them out here to get rid of me. They found anything they could
Sure.
to get me off the
They do it
dole.
all the time.
Because the newer company sent out an inspector, came, took pictures, did everything. He's like, yeah, there's nothing wrong here. What? Why would we cancel you for this? There's nothing wrong here that's cancelable.
Yeah.
So
Well,
the fact that Donald Trump would go to bat for the insurance companies because
it's
the bureaucracy
insane.
in California is worse than the insurance companies says everything.
It's crazy.
Says everything.
But no, my situation with the insurance is the best it can be. I just don't have any.
You don't have to have insurance in Japan?
No, and it's punitive anyway. No, what I have is a bank account that has maintenance slush fund in it. So therefore, and I always keep money in that, and therefore, anytime I need to do something, I have the money for it. The only thing in Japan, you can do whatever you want. You just need to have you don't have to hire a contracting company. You just need to have a contractor who therefore handles all the paperwork and interactions with people that come out and will do inspection. For instance, I'm kind of surprised I can't hear in this room because when I went to the bathroom a while back when I got my coffee, I have work because there's a pillar and there's a concrete foundation under the ground. A pillar support under the ground here on the outside of the building, and it was put in, but it's sinking. It's sunk. It's been there before I came here, so it just needs to be fixed. So I got a guy with like a little mini excavator, and his is like three dudes, and they're digging and they're doing all this stuff, and I don't know, are they still? They're probably still doing it, probably on lunch, but whatever. So that whole thing like that, I just pay the money for them to come do it. I could have done it myself, but I paid them money, and that dude holds a contractor license. And then when it's all done, maybe sometime this week, an inspector will come look at it and just sign a piece of paper. And of course, the inspector here, because it's just part of the government system, cost me like $20. How much does it cost you for an inspector?
Well, if I pay for it, it's expensive. If the insurance company pays for it, it's nothing. Well, they pay sure they pay them, but they don't. I don't have to pay them. But
They
if I
probably
have
have
an
an
official
employee.
inspection done here, right? If I have an official inspection done, it's in between. When I did it, and this was 10 years ago, it's in between $300 and $700, depending on the property.
Yeah, and I know, and I'm making an assumption here, but because Japan, as far as government stuff, works really efficiently, which is why they're rich.
Yes. Well,
Because it's efficient.
this is why I was talking to somebody, and I've said this to other people. I'm not necessarily against a universal healthcare system. I'm not on paper. I'm against the United States government doing it because they're so inefficient.
Yeah.
It's so bad. They can't even run a postal service without losing millions of dollars a year.
Yeah,
Like,
it's insane.
So bad.
It's insane.
And it doesn't have to be, but it's because there's so many parasites. The parasites are everywhere. They're in every party. Yep. It's not even about party or left or right. They're everywhere.
It's
They're all over.
It's bureaucracy.
And it's got to stop. And I'm really, if Trump does nothing else, if he can at least cut it down.
Well, Doge, that's so Doge's job, right?
Yeah.
No, I hear what you're saying, dude. And I know this because, here in Japan, I don't have to sweat anything because it's super efficient and cheap, right?
Yes.
But
yes. Which is what changed my mind is Japan. The fact that I looked into Japan's and it just works. I'm like, well, what the hell? I went, what the hell, guys? This is a big, rich country. We're far richer on paper anyway. What the hell? Right?
Right.
but there's not less bureaucracy in Japan, but it's bureaucracy that's far more efficient than it
Yeah.
is here, and it's
Well,
less corrupt, I would say.
and the reason I know this is because when I went over to Malta, and in America it's the same story. I know this when I was younger. Uh,
Hmm.
you know how I bought that space in the boatyard for my slip, right?
Yeah,
I basically bought a slip for my boat to weather it, right? Take it out of the water, clean it up, for the season, and just a little sliver of land. But in that slip there was a little boat. It was like a little 40-footer or something like that, right? And it came with the property, right? So I
right.
had this little boat, and I was like, well, it'd be nice to have something in the water. So I did a little bit of maintenance, had a new gel coat put on it, not a lot. It was
Right.
fine. And it's seaworthy and it works just fine if I want. It's a little motorboat, it's not a sailboat. But you could jump around the island, and if you really wanted to be brave, you might even be able to pop up to Sardinia. But anyway, but the point is, it was there, so I put a little bit of time and effort into it just to put it so I could put it in the water. I had to then get an inspector come out. Would you like to
Hmm.
guess how much it cost me for an inspector to come out, slam a hammer on the bottom of my boat for about 10 minutes?
I would not, because I bet it was a lot of money.
$1,000.
Man,
Excuse
they
me, a
saw you
thousand
coming.
What?
euros.
Oh my God, they really saw you coming. They
Yeah.
hosed you, my friend.
No, I checked.
Hosed.
You know me, dude. I do my due diligence. I called around. I talked with everybody, and
Yeah,
it was the same price everywhere because it's a government tax.
right. That's crazy.
Insane, dude. Whereas
That's
here
very
in
weird.
Japan,
Yes, it
I did the
is.
same thing with my Swan, right?
Hmm.
I got it all set up, pull it out of the water, cleaned it out, wanted to relicense it years ago, right? Drop it in
Hmm.
the water. Here in Japan, for the inspector to come out cost me like, I think it was under $50, right?
That's
Because
crazy.
just a government person comes out and it's their job, right?
Snap. Boom, boom, boom.
Done,
Goes home.
done,
Done.
right?
Easy. Get out
And
of
he
here.
and actually he was there for like 3 minutes, I think.
Right. Yeah, that's cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, and this is why the Japanese are rich, guys, because they're
yeah,
efficient. It's
they are.
just efficient. Why should government cost you anything more than it has to? Literally, they need to pay for his salary and the paper, and that's how they charge you. How in the hell these government agencies come up with hundreds of dollars? It's like, well, first of all, he's going to be there less than an hour, so even if we pay him hourly wage, what is he getting paid? $30 an hour, $50 an hour? It's really good pay. Let's say he gets $50 an hour. There's $50. You got some paperwork to do, right? The government shouldn't need any profit, right? It's the government, right? So how in the hell are you charging $600
Hmm.
for a dude to come out and spend less than an hour on your property?
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
is that?
Well,
How is that a thing?
it also because what they do here is they use private contractors, um, and the private contractor will charge that to come do it, and it'll take them an hour, maybe 2 hours to get in all the nooks and crannies and look at shit and then be done. But that's why. And then the
Yeah, but
government
how much do you
has
get
that
paid
takes
per
their
hour?
record. Oh, they get paid a lot. Inspectors
Yeah,
get paid
but
a lot.
how much though? Is it
It
over a
depends.
hundred? Because that's ridiculous.
Some of them do. Some of
That's
them do. And it's
ridiculous. That's
and their
ridiculous.
job is just to basically report to either the corporate bureaucracy or the government bureaucracy, and that's it, depending on what they're there for, or
Yeah,
both.
it's insane. It's just insane
Yep.
because that like under $50 I spent for the boat, right?
Mhm.
That guy's probably getting paid $30 an hour, right?
Right.
And so my fee is part of that compensation. Taxes, of course, he's a government worker, right?
Right.
Plus just paperwork and all that kind of nonsense. I think it was like 40 something bucks, right? So
Hmm.
it's just here in Japan, they don't charge more than they have to because government wants to be less least invasive as possible, right?
Mm.
And of course,
Hmm.
here in
Hmm.
Japan, they let the free market do what it's going to do. Once
Hmm.
again, why they're rich. It's not just that Japan is the third richest country or third largest economy on the planet. Everybody here is middle class. there are no poor people. Now, if you actually make real money, the Japanese government's incredibly punitive, and they go through all kind of hoops to, like stuff like I was talking about last week with Malta and stuff, to move and hide their money. But if you're just a normal Joe making under $180,000 a year, I think is the cut, you're good, dude.
Yep.
So, I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know why America can't be the same. Why can't it?
It used to be not too long ago.
Yeah.
Corruption, bureaucracy. It's a problem. Problem
It
that needs
is.
fixed. And I'm
Wait,
hoping this administration actually does try to fix it, genuinely, because it needs to happen. I don't care who does it. I don't care what their persuasion is politically. It needs to happen.
Yeah, no, it needs to be cleaned up. And we'll see. It's going to be exciting. No matter what, Trump is the content king, right?
Yep.
No matter what, even just that, it's entertaining. And everyone's spirits seem to be up. It feels that way from here. How is it over in the States? Do people feel more energetic, happier,
Yes.
relieved?
100%. 100%. There's a sense of
depends on what side hold it for.
there's a sense of what's the word I'm looking for? There's a word I'm looking for. There's a sense of and not excellence, but not exceptionalism. I guess we'll just use aspiration, but that's not the word I'm looking for. We'll use that though. It works. There's a sense of things might actually get better, right? There's this air of that for the first time in a very, very long time in this and even before Trump's first term, even like a very long time. And I see it everywhere. I see it in the faces of all the people. I see it in just strangers. You can just see it. Like everybody just kind of did that, right? Took a
Right.
deep breath
Right. It feels
and
so.
just breathed out finally. Like they were being choked and now they're not. And that's a good thing. That's a really good thing.
Yeah.
I hope it continues because as of now he's doing what he said he would do. Whether you agree with it or not, at least he's doing it.
He is. Yeah.
And we'll see. There are some things that I really want him to do. I really, really, really want Bobby to get in there and fix our food supply. Really
That's a big
badly. It
one.
needs to
That is
happen.
a big one.
The Doge needs to
He
cut
kept his
1 to
promise to
2.
Bobby, dude.
He did 1 to 2 trillion off the top of the budget. It needs to happen. Like,
Yep.
there's so many things, and I really hope it happens. But we will see. The world needs America to stay strong. It
Yeah.
needs it.
Oh yeah.
There's
Well,
no
look.
one else to take our place right now besides nothing but villains.
Now
So
I know a lot of people won't
need it.
take much with this Sundaro, but because they don't pay much attention to it. But the stock market, I understand that's a place for rich people to hide their money. I get it. I get it. But it is an indicator of sorts, right? And stock markets all over the world, including the Russian one, just lit up.
Yep.
Lit up, dude. The frickin' Nasdaq is over 20. Oh Jesus, dude! The Nikkei, the Russians, SUS, or whatever they call it, all of them, all over the world, they just popped, except for Britain, which is weird, you know. But yeah, just the feel, the zeitgeist has shifted, dude.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Well, the UK is so screwed, anyways.
yeah, no, they need to get their shit together, dude. They really do.
Oh, they're
Or
a whole country already.
Yeah, but it would be sad to lose Britain, don't you think? It'd be for me.
Honestly, at this point, they brought it upon
I know,
themselves.
I know,
It'd be
I
like
know.
Germany. It's like if if
Germany's
Germany
pushing back
plans,
though. No. Germany's like, now
yeah,
we had enough of this shit. The Germans are starting to push back, and good on them. The British aren't yet. They're still sitting there sipping their goddamn tea, sounding like a bunch of gay dudes. They need to get
but the
their shit
problem is
together.
people are pushing back. It's just that you have all these stupid people in label who's like, oh, you're just racist, just like the Democrats.
Yeah,
If you
yeah,
say anything about
sure.
the Muslims invading, oh no, you're just racist. We got point to the fact that Muslims are doing, oh, you're just racist. Who cares about the
Yeah,
grooming gangs?
yeah, but if you
Because what they
go,
need to do is that they need to go after the cops, and
oh,
they
they
need
do.
to go
There's a
after
lot
the
they
mayor
need
of
to do.
London.
It's true.
And all these cops that are on the leftist parties need to be put on trial for treason.
Yeah, no, I
And when
agree.
put on,
I agree. But
yeah,
if you go and you watch, they have a group over there. Guy's name is Sargon of Akkad. He has a channel called the Lotus Eaters, and it's basically kind of the Steven Crowder of Britain, right? Is what it is effectively. And they're
yeah, I
sound
know.
minded. They're very British, but watching them all drool with excitement and anticipation during the inauguration of Donald Trump was very interesting thing to watch. He's not their president, but how excited are they? How much and how
That's just
desperate
crazy.
are they to have something similar? How desperate are they for Trump to come over and save their ass? It's very interesting watching
Mm.
foreigners and how excited they get about our president. It's very interesting, right? Every time I do a class with adults here over the past couple of months, they're constantly asking me about Trump. Every damn class is about Trump, right? And it's just interesting because in the end, I know as America does, so does the world. I get it, but he's not your president. He's mine. It's weird, don't you think, Thunder?
Well, I understand why, to some degree, because one, I do talk to a lot of foreigners, like our boy Booster and others. Uh, he what America's very important, and for
Clearly,
a lot of them. I'm not saying this is all of them, but a lot of them, America's
that's
what
true,
is the word
Alan.
I'm looking for? There's still, even in all of our faults, we're the place where the news of the world flows from, right? Kind of like how all roads lead to Rome.
Yeah, it is
It's
that.
the same thing with America. All news flows from America. Everything's downhill from here because we're the most powerful, we're the strongest, we're the hegemon, like when we have been for many, many years. The American dollar is the world's reserve currency. There's just no escaping it. Our culture is dominant basically everywhere.
Well, we are
To
the
the point,
lemmings that will throw ourselves at the wall until it works. Yeah,
yes, to the point where I know people, more than one, who are from countries that don't really speak English, but they know English simply because they've watched American
movies.
whatever, movies,
Yeah,
podcasts, whatever.
mm.
And that is something that's very unique. No other
It
place
is.
is really like that. Japan's kind of getting that way a little bit in certain parts of America because
Sure.
people really love
Well,
anime
you're
and
talking
manga.
about soft power, is what you're talking about.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
soft power. America is the hard power and the soft power of the world. And because of that, that's why they care so much. It does matter to their lives to some degree. Um, I think that this is a good thing, but I also think it's going to change. Unless there is an actual renaissance here with Musk and Trump and all these people, and they genuinely mean what they say, which we don't know. But let's assume for a second that they do. Let's give them all the benefits of all the doubts, right? And they actually pull this off, and they can turn America around, right the ship, make America great again, whatever terminology you want to use. That's better for everybody.
It
Everybody.
is.
It doesn't
It
matter if
is.
you're European, it doesn't matter if you're Chinese, it doesn't matter if you're Japanese. Nobody wants to live in a world where America is weaker. That's
Yeah.
not good. It's not good for anybody except for maybe the bad guys. That'd be great
Right.
for them. But we
Well,
also need to make sure America's not being the bad guys because we have a
well,
history,
we
recent
yeah, that's a
history
problem.
of
That's
being
a
the bad
problem.
guys.
Yeah, well, just don't let Democrats in charge. You'll do better. But it's also, I think, just the spirit of they mock us for it, but they also praise us for it at the same time. We're not going to take it. We're not going to take it. Hell no,
Yep.
we're not going to take it anymore.
Yep.
That
It's
Americans will do that. Most of the people in the world are just really soft in that regard. The Americans will stand up and scream. And look
well, we're
how
the
often
bastards.
they mock us like, "Oh, you guys are always talking about politics. You guys are always going on. You're so noisy." Yep. Yep. And
Yep.
you even though you won't admit it, you love it. You love us for it.
It is fun to watch. It
It
is fun to
is.
watch.
It is.
Um,
Anyway, I got to go to
we're
work,
the
dude. I'm late.
we say it. I say it all the time on here, Chester. We're the bastards.
We are.
America's the bastards of the world, of Europe especially, and it allowed us to be the ones to be able to do that. To say no more. That's enough, because we don't care. Why do we? What do we care what they think? They kicked us
Yeah.
out. They kicked our
They
ancestors out.
did.
Told them to get out of here. So
They
fuck them.
did. Yep.
Fuck them.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, anyway, thank you guys very much. 2 days, of course, we'll be back for Bill is running the Dolmenwood. Having fun with that. We'll see you next week. And just, take this picture, get it blown up big, put it on the side of your wall. You'll be good. Just remember, wear your MAGA hats, fly your American flags proudly. Because for some reason you can do it now. I don't know why you couldn't do it before, but, you could do it now. So do that. And thank you for coming in. That's real. Thundero takes out of here.
Very simply, it's one of my favorite ones that I've written. The very very Seussian. What good have you done, breaking two hearts to mend one?
Mm-hmm. Namaste.
Namaste.
Later, everybody.